between these two. And when you look at the full schedule here, we've got just a ton of matchups where it feels like, while there is, I think, maybe a slight favorite one way or the other, it feels like they really aren't that far apart. That's the kind of fun of the EGFC. The parity this league has is really interesting to watch.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, looking at Auburn and Cincinnati, that would be a huge win for the Tigers to pick up to sort of really put their fall split back together after beating UTA, but struggling against a lot of other stronger teams. And Delaware trying to be that squad to take down Rochester, give them their first loss. And for USC, they're sort of the opposite story to what we see in UConn and Tennessee, where they're pretty strong at the start, but have struggled in a few of these matchups. In NAU, they're right at the top with RIT, with the Tigers being their only loss.
It's going to be fun to see as the day goes on, but we're going to focus up on this matchup here. Again, like we've mentioned, teams at the same record, 4-3, and I'm interested to see how these two play styles pan out, because in similar fashion, some of the strengths of these teams have been the downfall of the opponents. For example, UConn, when they lost to USC, or when they, sorry, not USC, when they lost to George Washington, it was because they couldn't outpace George Washington. And every time they went for an air dribble, it was quickly shut down. But UConn are snipers at heart. They can pick corners really well. And that's where Tennessee has really struggled, is at these high quality chances that their opponents are able to create. So it'll be interesting to see how everything paces out as we're getting ready for this best of 5. UConn in the blue, UTK in the orange.
Yeah, and we saw already a goal line save having to be made by the Huskies, so UTK certainly not slow out the gate, as that's going to be Noah comfortably clearing this one out, but it seems every clear is just going right to Tennessee's hands, as that's going to be another crossover. Hermes not able to get much on it, and finally UConn having maybe a little breathing room at the midfield.
UConn's defense able to hold strong for that first kind of offensive stint. We'll see what their offense is now able to do as Gavin tries to work that way through the corner, but can't connect on that follow-up. Noah being stingy here at midfield, and we'll be able to keep this ball into the orange half of the pitch. Shiro looking for a double tap and will get it back down. Doesn't get the block though, so here comes Tennessee the other way off the corner. 50 is up, but no one but Shiro able to get to it. Another air dribble attempt, and this is what UConn love to do. They love to go for these elongated air dribbles, and they nearly are able to sneak one underneath.
Yeah, I love that. It looks like there's a fake coming through, as now Shaka, almost there, able to get a bit of fake of his own through the defense. Read well. Noah close to the edge. That one off the corner, and the defense accidentally own goals.
Noah going to be the benefactor here, but the clear over top. Tennessee just get caught tripping over their own wires here, and Joe Bro, unable to read that post bounce, ends up putting it into the back of his own net. UConn get the opener of this series.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate for Joe Bro. Just tries to park it and get it past, and instead that's going to be an opener for the Huskies, who were, I'm going to say, I think, under pressure for most of this opening minute and a half, and it's been UTK trying to set up those plays, but now again, those wires getting crossed as we see a bit of a team bump, and Joe Bro unable to get the reset, and Gavin able to hold on to that possession.
A good defensive stance here from UConn. Shearer's going to back off and let Noah flick this one. They love to force these defenses that they go against to use a ton of boost. That's why they love to take to the skies so early. It forces teams up. It forces them to use all that boost, and UTK can kind of get crossed up by, going through not only their own defensive lines and bumping each other, but also going for the same boost pads because they want that control. UTK are at their best when they're flying around the pitch at Mach 10, and UConn have not allowed that thus far.
Yeah, it's all about getting these awkward bouncing balls. It seems like UConn a lot more comfortable, able to just get a slight touch that gets around the defense. And again, they've managed to really control the skies in the midfield, and UTK have just been struggling, as that's a nice connection between Hermes and Joe Bro, forcing Shiro up. And those are, I think, the kind of midfield connections UTK is going to start moving towards as this game develops.
All because UConn really had to back up there. That was a good demo, but like you said, third man in, just a little bit too far back and unable to capitalize off the back of it. Big 50 here from Gavin. Noah unable to follow up, too far away from him. Shiro dives at it along the boards, and Jobro gets it over top. So back into the blue half of the pitch it goes. Noah's going to have to respond to this one, but it's dangerous. Has to kick this one to the corner, which gives Shaka another chance at it. Another touch off of the back of it, and it will stay in the blue half of the pitch here until Noah gets a clear. It's a low bouncer, should be saved away. But everything here for UConn's defense is just a little awkward, a little bit of a scramble. Nothing comfortable right now, but they're holding on.
Yeah, and as the time ticks down, you have to realize that even though there's still plenty of time for a score to come through, the longer we go, the longer UConn can just continue to play possession, continue to play defense, because they've already got that one goal in hand, and Jobro prevents it from being two.
Noah has to back up here. He's got to grab boost as well. Huge challenge from Gavin. Look at the depth he gets on that ball as well. As Shaka has to go back to corral that one. Hermes is in a bad spot. Shiro recognizes it. Can't get through the sidewall though. Noah backs off, loses the 50, high over through the midfield. Two UConn players here in this corner. Noah wins the race and gets the 50 as well. Jobro's caught flat-footed here. This one's off the backboard. Shiro, can he turn it on target? Yes, he can! And the Huskies make it a 2-goal lead.
Oh, and there's the insurance as Noah, just a light beat onto Jobro, and Shiro just has to wrap around. Doesn't need a ton of power, just needs to put it on target. And that's exactly what this squad leader does. As UTK, I think that they at least want to get one. Feel a ball go to the back of their opponent's net instead of their own. And Shaka already has some decent space, but that was quite the strong touch. Won't be able to do too much yet as Hermes making this one difficult. Shaka still has a response. It's off the backboard, but Jobro isn't confident with Hermes still stuck in the net. And that's going to be more time shaved off as we've only got 30 seconds to go and Noah's got the ball.
Couple of key bumps from Gavin as well, making this defensive rotation difficult, but oh my goodness, Noah, what a bouncer, double tap and all. Look at this angle, off the ceiling too, off the miss on the backboard, and Jobro kick at the read, goes to the top corner, and UConn extend their lead.
So well done, and that's really, I think, the definer of this game, number one. Noah able to just get a great shot around. I don't think his opponents thought he got the reset, but indeed there it was. Just that little extra bit of oomph needed to get it in the net. As one cross attempted, and oh, Hermes almost had that. Gavin with a great save. We're going to see Jobro take one final attempt. Gets Shiro instead of the net, and that is going to be the second this ball touches the ground. UConn taking game one.
Huge game one victory there for UConn. Like you said, felt like they were playing defense for the majority of that game, but they end up with a 3-0 lead and a shutout at that. So credit where credit's due. UConn's defense stepping up when it needs to. But this offense, a lot of their opportunities are off the back of UTK just getting too aggressive, too far forward into the offensive zone. That second goal, really the dagger, the insurance goal coming off the back of Jobro, just not respecting how much power that midfield challenge is going to come through with.
Yeah, and I think the first goal just being a slight awkward whiff from Jobro, being an own goal, might have messed with the heads of UTK, or at the very least it puts you in an awkward headspace where you feel like you've given one away and then you're not able to put together a lot of those really strong chances we know UTK can create. So I'm hoping that we see more of that midfield pressure, that we see a few more of those midfield connections, because we saw a couple. But I mean, also props to UConn. They've been making sure that it's awkward in the midfield, that we've got a lot of bouncers. We're not seeing these carries and quick deposits to your teammates from Jobro and Shaka with Hermes there to clean up. So I'm really impressed by UConn, able to slow that down. Shiro just gets an forward backflip. But UTK, they've got to find something else, whether that's physicality to open the door or just making sure these connections come together and not crossing each other. And Jobro somehow gets past too, but Shiro grabs that one easily.
Shiro gets demoed though, so Gavin has to now corral this ball. Doesn't get the best of 50s. Shiro is there, throws it off the wall. Can't get too much off the back of it. Shaka's on the air dribble. Noah doesn't have the touch, and that's going to be an easy goal for Shaka. This one thrown off the wall right to him. A great catch here, but Noah just caught flat-footed.
Yeah, I was going to say, what happened here to Noah? I think just going up a little early with a bad takeoff, and Shaka's going to be able to ride that one in every day of the week. So UTK held scoreless for 5 minutes in game one, score in the first 30 seconds here of game two, and nearly getting a kickoff goal as that's another screamer saved by Noah.
For them, Noah Sends that one high off the backboard. Follow-up shot hits the backside of Hermes on that backboard. Shiro now rolls it back, goes for an air dribble himself. Noah's also up for this, and Gavin is here for the pass, but it is cleared away. UConn now have to hustle back into the blue corner. Popped up high. Hermes is there. Shiro on the backboard has to avoid a bump from Jobro. The aggression of UTK at full force there, but Gavin with the jukes on the air dribble goes short side and ties the game.
Oh, I think this was an air dribble bump. No, it doesn't even really need the bump. Shaka doesn't have a touch there. Gavin, as you said, great awareness, just wraps it around the defense, and we're all tied up.
Big air dribble goal there, ties the game back up. Gavin's going to be able to get this boost as well. 2-on-1 the other way, but can't find a play to get through the defense, so Noah will end up rallying this ball up the wall, and he'll go for an air dribble. Doesn't have the flip reset, though, just barely missed it and couldn't get that pass over. Gavin going to the ceiling here, trying to bait one of these defenders up, but unable to do so. They play patient, they wait for the follow-up shot from Shiro. Noah to rotate through, and Shaka with a big launching clear.
Now I think this is a moment that UConn has an opportunity. There's a few awkward members, and now where's the shot? And Hermes somehow stays ahead. A great defensive effort from UTK with what could have been a great opportunity, as that one also just off the backboard. Jobro might have a little space, but he sends it straight over to Gavin.
Smart play there. Noah gets it over to the defender facing the right direction so that they can kind of keep up this pace of play, because like you said, Tennessee's defense scrambling a little bit here. This is a big air dribble. They'll use the ground to try and roll that one on. Gavin will make the save. Hermes forces a block. What a shot from Noah off the crossbar and down. Cleared away once more. Shiro wins the 50 as well. Hermes on the backboard doesn't find a touch. Gavin, it ricochets. Noah on the grounder. Goal line save from Hermes. Playing the savior role right now and keeping this game tied. And Jobro might have a goal the other way, but Shiro makes the save.
Oh man, and that was just so close. So I think breaking this game open is both teams scoring relatively early, able to keep it even, and now here's the connections we've been looking for as Hermes just a bit wide.
The pacing that this match is at is starting to favor UTK, though. This is where they thrive. Even though it's a lot of UConn offense, you're seeing the chances that UTK are able to generate, and they are extra high quality.
Yes, they are really looking good so far as Jobro low boost, able to just pick up that canister. Gavin reads it well to prevent that 50 from coming through. This should be slowed down, but Shaka makes sure that Gavin doesn't have a great touch, and now we're just awkward in the corners, I think, as Jobro gonna get chased down, sent to the midfield. Gavin wasn't quite ready, might have an opportunity here before it's cut away by Hermes.
Expected a 50 there and didn't get it, so this ball's in an awkward spot. Shiro will power clear this one to midfield. Shaka to keep it right back in. Gavin, not sure how much boost they have here, but Jobro is lurking, waiting. Doesn't get the best of 50s. Hermes just tries to stall this one, gets it over top of Shiro, but Noah gets the pop-up. Follow-up by Shaka is there. Can't get the touch off the wall. Bump on the backside of the play means Noah can march forward here. Has an extra touch, but he's out of boost. Tries to double jump, but it's too late. Jobro will lock it back down into the blue half. Demo comes through on the backside, and UConn are doing a really good job of making sure this midfield is not clear at all for UTK. It's going to lead to a shot from Gavin, and it's off the post and out. Another goal line save for the Volunteers.
Oh, but here was another quick counterattack almost there for the Volunteers, and just not quite able to get those last connections, but Hermes has done such a good job of holding it in. Now here's another pop over. Noah makes sure that it's clear, and UTK have to try again. It's going to be Shaka positing it to the right side, but we've only got 20 seconds to go.
It was dangerous from Shiro, but luckily his teammate was there. Good turn as well, but it forces all his boost out. Hermes off the wall. Gavin recenters. Noah with a chance to shoot. It's on target, and it's saved again by Shaka. Short time remaining here. Shiro over one. Doesn't get the best of 50s all the way across, but it stays up. Noah has a chance off the ceiling, but the defense of UTK starts to head the other way with it, and it will be forced to the side and forced into overtime.
Oh man, that felt real close, and this is what we expected out of these two squads, giving us overtime in game number 2 after UConn had such a strong game number 1. But UTK have looked so much better in the midfield this game. They've had so many more opportunities. Jobro with a nice little musty. Can't get the dunk onto Gavin. That's going to be another opportunity sent straight back the other way by the Huskies. As this one interrupted for just a second. Jobro keeps it dangerous, and Gavin makes sure nothing gets past.
Big clear there, but no one able to follow up off the back of it, so it's Tennessee possession. Good 50 from Shaka. Noah's up very early to force that one to the side. Gavin along the goal line stays popped up in this back third. Short side angle. No, Noah will be able to clear it away. Hermes backtracking again. Hasn't been able to do much other than save the ball offensively. Just has not had the chance to get involved this game. Has to make another save as Jobro comes up with that one. Gavin was looking for the dagger there on the drop down. Shaka might have one here, but Noah again hustling back to make the save. Gets the block as well. Jobro keeps it in this blue corner, but he doesn't have a great play at it, and it will get cleared away momentarily. Up now is Shiro to catch it once, and Hermes will block him again at the midfield. Noah tries to force this ball out, high up the ceiling once more, and the back and forth continues at the midfield.
You can see Jobro's been playing so far forward, just trying to get an outlet. Now Hermes might have that 1v1 opportunity, and shoves it right past two. UTK even the series.
Oh, Hermes hadn't had an opportunity all game, and he finally comes through here. The demo was everything. Gavin's out of position, and Noah, what an effort to get back, but it's just not enough, and Tennessee tie the series at 1.
And what a game for them to win it. I mean, 1-1 all the way down after like that first minute, and then a hard-fought battle in overtime. But this is exactly what we wanted to see from two teams fighting for that 5th win, fighting to really show that they're going to be a scary team come spring.
Yeah, and it feels like this type of matchup, too, is going to have massive implications down the line. They're both in that Eastern Conference, and the fact that they're both at an even record now, you put yourself at 5-3, you put yourself in that kind of within striking distance of the upper echelon, right? With a lot of the top tier teams, Delaware at 2 losses, Cincinnati at 2 losses, for you to be right there and still have to play potentially some of those teams in the spring split, this match could mean a lot, because also on the flip side, you lose this one, now you're at 4-4, and now you're within striking distance of some of the teams that have been, waiting for their opportunity to show themselves, like the Xaviers, the William and Marys, that have always been this close.
Yeah, exactly. It's about whether or not you're having to fight for playoffs or whether or not you're able to make that tiebreaker work, right? These teams, game differential, dead even. So it's like we'd have to go to 2 tiebreakers if these teams are even at the end. But of course, this head-to-head would be that difference maker. So I think that both teams recognizing the implications, and also with this being their last matchup of the fall split, you want to make sure you end off on a strong one.
And the way both of these teams are playing, it's very interesting to see how this match is kind of paced out. Game 1, UConn with that solid defense and control of the ball, doing a very good job of punishing UTK's over aggression throughout that first game. But in game number 2, UTK was playing a bit more defense. They were recognizing, hey, UConn is doing a lot of air dribbles again, and so if we just sit back, play a bit more patient, if these air dribbles aren't on target, we don't have to worry about them as much. That way we can get the solid 50 off the ground, we can get possession and go the other way. And UConn kind of got dragged into the chaos a bit more in game number 2.
Yeah, and we saw moments where it felt like Gavin and Noah going for balls that they just weren't quite set up to go for. And it's a matter of, again, that chaos where you're feeling panicked. You're feeling like you have to go for a moment when maybe you have an extra half second to set up your approach. Or UTK have just pumped up the heat that you got to be dead on the second you're asked to respond.
UTK, their offense kind of spreads the ball out. You talked about it with the midfield offense, but you look at how their offense has been able to approach. They've been forced to the outside for a lot of this game, but they're starting to encroach in very, very slowly, and they're doing that through the midfield passes. You're seeing more and more stretch passes. I mean, think of the air dribble attempts and the redirects we're seeing from Jobro in particular. Just at the top of that blue box, he is finding ways to get touches down in on that crossbar, and even Noah, hustling back to make goal line save after goal line save for the side of UConn. You have to wonder, how long can the Huskies defense hold?
Yeah, that is a real question going into this game number 3. It's also going to be a matter of if UTK's momentum from that overtime is maintained, as Gavin not quite able to get the pinch he was looking for, as Shiro goes for a bump. Jobro follows on that 50. We're already seeing quite a bit of pressure as it seems Jobro was looking for an option for Shaka and instead wasn't quite able to get it. Now this is going to be UConn trying to set themselves back up, but I do want to point that what you mentioned as far as those longer passes for UTK, they feel so much more comfortable when the game is a lot faster, and UConn really succeed when they're in these slower, slightly more awkward positions that UTK just isn't quite ready to handle. As wait, Noah might just get the open net.
Boy, does he have the speed here? He does, but Shaka's just faster. The positioning just in his favor, and he's able to dive over and make a key save there to keep this game tied at 0. Gavin from the ceiling gets blocked by Shaka as well, and this was a struggle for UConn towards the end of that second game, was their ability to clear the ball. A demo on the backside means that it's once again going into Tennessee's favor of possession. Shaka in midfield with some space. Noah with a big cutoff, but no player ready to run over and gather up possession. Hard to read a couple of these 50s, and the way UConn, the way that Tennessee are moving, they're reading the pitch very well.
Oh man, and that's exactly what you want to see after an overtime loss. It's a team that is finding these reads as Jobro beat for a second. Shaka there to make the save and get the 50 afterwards, as this is a new level of physicality for UConn. We haven't seen too much out of them yet, and now they're using it to make UTK awkward, and everyone's stuck in the corner, and UTK doesn't look their strongest when they're all stuck in the corners.
Really an awkward spot here. They throw it off the wall once more. Shiro high off the backboard forces an aerial from Hermes. Hard to look and see where the attack was going to come from. Tries to fake out one, but again, Gavin and Noah kind of in similar positions, occupying the same space. Jobro will make a save at the top of the box. Now back into the orange half goes UConn. Gavin through the corner, got by him, and on nearly a 50 inside the box to try and push that one in. Gavin off the ceiling, has Shiro on the far side, goes for the middle, and Shaka is there to make the save.
Oh, and just a great read on the play from Shaka. As you know who you're watching for, you can tell who's the recipient of the pass, and there's just no shot available from the ceiling. Gavin cuts off, Noah pops it up, looking to hold on to this one, takes the shot, it's over, and now Noah not quite quick enough as this is sent to Jobro. Shiro with, again, another great read on the play to recognize how UTK might have been able to put together a great counterattack, and instead, it's another moment of awkwardness inside the Tennessee box.
This one gets by as well. Could be dangerous. Short side rebound goal, and it's Jobro to put UTK up here in game number 3, but it's all off the back of that pinch from Hermes and the feed in front.
And Shiro, uncharacteristic miss for one, and then the secondary feed able to get around the defender. So UTK hard fought for that first goal. Now Shiro gonna see what he can do here. Buy a little time, give the team some boost. Not sure if we're gonna see his second touch. And it's gonna be Hermes. It's now Gavin, lots of space, interrupted second, recover for a moment. Jobro's there.
Big save on that air dribble and a big clear. 2 players up for the side of UConn. Gavin's got minimal boost. This is a shot on, and Gavin will make the save at the near post. Pass in front for Shaka, just barely redirected by Noah. So many key defensive plays from Noah in particular. Gavin goes for the demo follow-up shot, and Noah will score. Tie game.
Oh man, and this is all off the back of Jobro's initial attack, where he got awkward off the post, wasn't able to rotate back, and then of course was way too slow and out of position. Right there, ready for the bump to come through. Probably would have had a better approach, but UConn very willing to take advantage of that moment as they tie up the score. And with a minute and a half to go, well, Jobro says, I don't need a minute and a half, I just need 4 seconds.
A little bit of panic here off this kickoff. Noah does not get the best of 50s. Hermes with the pass, and Shiro just barely can't react to it. And because of that whiff on kickoff, because Shiro couldn't track it down and was backwards, it forces UConn's defense to go at uncomfortable paces and uncomfortable angles. And Tennessee capitalized off the back of it. A bouncer might be on off the backboard twice from Noah. The follow-up. Jobro is there to clear it away. No members of the Huskies available. Now Shiro on the passing play towards the post is blocked by Jobro. Gavin keeps it in with a minute remaining here. Bounces down, 50 in front. High off the corner now, and instead it will go to Hermes, who will muscle this one out of the zone.
Oh, and it felt like that was the golden opportunity, but UTK just had the reads all the way down. Each attack, there was a defender ready, and the one moment that it really felt possible when everyone was low on boost, there was a nice team pinch to give them the space to reset. Because now they're not out of the woods quite yet. Jobro with a nice clear to the side, but Shaka gets no touch. This one's tough, and Jobro instead just goes for the tackle from behind.
Launch on here, Gavin with a good key save there. Jobro sends it off the corner. Ricocheted away by Noah. Caught by Shaka for a moment. He gets battled and contested at the midfield line. Short time now remaining here. Chance up high off the blue backboard. The follow-up from Shaka is denied. Gavin can't get over to it, but it's popped up here. High off the backboard. Shiro shot. Double tap. Can't find the angle. Gavin to keep it up. Along the backboard in front. And Gavin pinches it off the post and in. Tie game with 0 seconds remaining.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was over once we saw that double not get through, but Gavin gets some redemption, forces the 0-second OT. And oh boy, these teams are really fighting for it.
Back-to-back overtime games here, and a key one to move to match point. Hermes pops it down. Shiro is there for a shot. Could be dangerous, but Shaka goes up and makes the save, gets a hand on it, and Gavin will have to retreat here. Goes up high, looking for a play off the ceiling, but again, no one biting on it. Goes over top of one, leaves it for Jobro along the backboard, who tries to power clear this one, but Shiro dives in to block it. Another power clear. Jobro doesn't find the angle. Gavin to cut this one off, and UTK are struggling to stretch the pitch.
Yeah, it seems like Jobro's been sitting so far upfield looking for options that it just turns into some awkward field coverage where there isn't that extra man ready to rotate back if UTK gets challenged once or twice and there's a bouncing ball on their side of the pitch. Jobro just can't be a part of that play, but we're seeing him start to step back into rotation. We've got another bouncer. Noah's going to carry this one forward as Gavin looks for the redirect. It's a little wide, but Hermes is there anyway.
It's a 2-on-2s with this fast-paced play, and that's why UTK love it. They love having that player at midfield get these good touches, set up the offense, but like you said, haven't been able to get too much ground off the back of it. Jobro, the double jump air dribble does not work out. Shiro has to go here. Hermes, I think, faked him out and gets a flick here up high. Gonna leave a chance here for Jobro, but he is denied. Noah turning early, gets it back over to him on a dribble attempt, but too many bodies here at midfield. They'll eventually fork it through, but Shaka is there to read it. Shiro in a bad spot, up high, rebound, goal! Jobro on the backboard, and UTK moved to match point.
Whew, and it feels like UTK, I mean, they've been succeeding in these OTs, but these games have been real close. Not exactly the most comfortable, but certainly bringing in that clutch factor when necessary. But I gotta say, Gavin had the clutch factor this game as well, forcing that OT, but it's so tough for the Huskies that you can make it there and can't quite finish it off in OT.
Yeah, and in that overtime, their offense just never really got a good chance to really get going. They had that one redirect from Gavin well outside the box, but there's just no power behind it. So that's the advantage of UTK. They know where to position themselves in these kind of 2v2s, in that fast-paced fashion, to be able to get the speed on those redirects, to be able to find the pockets that are unoccupied. And in that last instance, that game-winning goal, look again where the defense is. Shiro's a little bit farther off of that near post. He's too far into that corner. They find the gap, throw it off the backboard, and Jobro is able to get there before Gavin can even get up the wall. They're just a little bit faster to these reads, and they're finding the spaces that are unoccupied.
Yeah, and that's the real difference maker, right, is being just a tiny bit faster on a few of these approaches. Jobro, again, just a little bit faster, gets it out to Hermes, and this is already a little risky straight off the kickoff, and we've seen UTK have some really strong kickoffs this series. It seems this one's just gonna turn back into a bit of boomer ball as both teams recognizing the stakes of this game as we're on to match point. Noah denied, Shiro out to Gavin. No one's ready to receive. Everyone's up for UTK for just a second. Now we've settled back into the midfield.
The passes are there for UConn. The problem is the positioning of the players and the power that they're getting is just barely off. You see, even in that last sequence, they can find each other towards the back post, but do you dive at it? You don't know if the defense is going to intercept it in time, and if you don't go, you don't get the chance to score, but if you do and they read it, all of a sudden it's an easy odd man rush the other way. Just so difficult for those decisions to be made quickly, but UConn, there's no room for hesitation. They're on match point here. They've got to find a way to break through, and Hermes not allowing an easy path through there. Gavin now on the air dribble, gets a flip reset. They get back to it, no. Shaka with another booming clear.
And I think that's a good point where UConn, they've just got to stay confident. Those last two games might have rattled your nerves just a bit here and there. Of course, losing 2 overtimes in a row feels pretty bad, but this is certainly a squad that has strong mentals, but not when, or actually, excuse me, UConn keeping the mentals strong. Gavin able to pop one out, and UTK just an uncharacteristic hole in the defense as Hermes went up.
Yeah, 2 players commit to that one, and Jobro just barely unable to make that save in time. Good recognition by Gavin to throw that ball over top and make sure it's on target there to get the first goal. But it is interesting, you know, I think back to that George Washington series that we watched UConn play in, where I believe it was a reverse sweep. It was all because this air dribble style that UConn loves to go for was mitigated by the quick challenges in the skies by George Washington. And UTK, they tried something similar there, but in that scenario doesn't work out because of just the awkward positioning. So UConn starting to try and figure things out, and they are here. Look at the passing down low this time off of the defensive giveaway.
Yeah, and UConn, they're recognizing they're going to succeed when they can force UTK to crunch up. The Vols do so well when they're able to, again, as you've said, stretch the field, find each other across, when there's this very fast pace of play, incredibly high momentum on the ball. But UConn, it seems like they're just a little bit tighter when it comes to these tough positions where you have to make just that awkward little touch to save the day or pitch it right back out to your teammate, and it nets a second for UConn. That's been their success this game number 4. And in game 1 that they won, it felt like they were succeeding by just being able to force these awkward touches, having these bouncing balls in front of UTK's net that they just weren't comfortable going for and weren't able to really get out of their own half.
Certainly trending in UConn's favor as we cross that halfway marker. Shiro doesn't find a touch though, and this could be big. 3-on-2 the other way, but quickly cut off, and now Shiro putting the pressure on. Shaka has to go off the backboard there and get that ball over to Jobro, which forces this ball back into the blue half deep. Goes ricochets off of one defender, and Jobro off the boost steal will make a play off the ceiling. Can't get there before Shiro does. Shaka now sends it to the wall. Can he get back to it? Not cleanly. Kept at midfield for the moment. Noah no touch. Banks down, and Gavin, again, just barely able to pop it over on these air dribble contests. Jobro with the save. Maybe a chance here at the midfield for a pass. Noah goes high, but not nearly on target, and Hermes will dribble it away.
Oh, and just barely. These opportunities fallen away. And again, it is that midfield coverage. Whoever's succeeding more in the midfield has had that continued success in these games. Gavin goes up. Double doesn't find much of anything, but it does certainly keep this one awkward. It certainly shaves time off the clock, and that's what we saw UConn do quite well in game 1. But of course, as they got their last couple goals, it wasn't really needed as they got that 3-0 scoreline, and now potentially trying to replicate it and take us to game number 5 as Hermes gonna pop the backboard. But UTK, they just haven't had any momentum. It feels like just to get to the ball, they're using half their boost, and they aren't able to have any sort of sustained pressure.
UConn's doing a really good job. Hold on, this could be a really dangerous redirect. Look at that one, towards the corner, off the post and out. Noah on the rebound. Save made, forced away at the last second. Shiro to keep the pressure on, but he and Gavin are both up here. This is 2-on-1 now the other way. Jobro can't control this one. Noah loses it there. Shiro, high off his nose, off the blue backboard, and over top of Shaka, which will force Jobro up 30 seconds. Does he have his flip reset? We'll never find out. He gets the possession of the ball ripped away from him. Shaka now on the shot. Gavin, goal line save. Popped up for Shiro. 2-on-2 the other way. Underneath one, but he's denied by Gavin. A chance now for Shaka. Looking for Jobro. Has a chance here to pop it up for Hermes, but it's just too far to reach. Forces UConn up. No double tap up the wall. Shaka now sends it forward. Again, looking for Jobro. Hermes is there. A chance to shoot off the crossbar and down. And the Huskies once again hold on.
Oh, and we see 2 in a row from UTK and 1 back from Connecticut as the dead even teams with game differential keep it until game 5.
No other way you feel like this one could have panned out. UConn playing it smart, playing it safe, controlling the ball, controlling the pace of the game, and UTK unable to really break through. UConn doing a very good job. You were talking about the midfield and the 50s in particular. Feels like that midfield control really dictates who wins the game. Well, it's because a lot of UConn's success has been through kind of mind gaming a couple of these 50s and making it 100 to zeros. It feels like once UConn get over top completely, even if they're bumped off the ball, as long as the ball gets fully over top, continues to be powered through, UConn are forced back immediately, and once they do, they're immediately scrunched up, like you said. So these 100 to zeros, Tennessee cannot afford those. If they're going to go up for the challenge, you have to get at least a piece of this ball.
Yeah, exactly. And otherwise, it just means you're losing boost, you're falling out of rotation, and you're creating more of these awkward situations where your teammates just going back and forth, just like, are you going to hit it? Are you not going to hit it? And you're trying to play time, you're trying to find an opportunity. And we saw in a lot of those moments, UConn were able to collect with a couple short passes in front of the Tennessee box. As now it all comes down to this. Game number 5, and Jobro already looking for a little air dribble bump. But of course, not enough power, and that one's going to be sent the other way.
Just kickoffs ever dangerous. We'll have to look for that as this game goes on. But Noah able to make a pinch off the backboard here. Shiro now sends one into the box. Gavin is there early, has a double tap as well. Can't pull that one back on target though. He will get a boost steal. He gets over top of Jobro. This could be big. Hermes gets the block in front. Shiro to keep it in the orange half. Flick doesn't go as planned here, which will force Gavin up. But still, the Huskies maintain offensive possession here, and no boost in the tank means that's a shot for Shiro, one that Shaka will have to save.
Oh, and that was very, very close. And we haven't seen a ton of early opening goals outside of, I want to say, games 1 and 3. Now we're going to see a minute here come and gone, as Shaka going to try and keep this one pitched out. Now an opportunity for Shiro to try and cut things off, but instead it's going to be his teammate able to slow down the play. And now Shaka gets past one, but there's still plenty of backboard coverage. It's about a minute 15 has come and gone here in this game number 5. We're not seeing either team really feel all that comfortable in their play styles. A decent amount of boomer ball and a decent amount of missed touches coming through as they're trying to get just the perfect extensions.
And while UConn do feel like they have a little bit of an edge in terms of time of possession here, again, it feels like that high quality is not quite there. Again, like you said, so many of these plays, so many of these double taps just barely unable to connect upon them. Noah here forced to kind of give this one away because of where the ball was and where the team was positioned. This one could be dangerous in front. Shira to pre-jump it. Shaka doesn't have the boost to make that play happen, and Noah will get a massive dunk, and that's the first real chance Tennessee has had in a minute. Noah making sure that that one stays out of reach of Tennessee. Gavin's up early here to challenge Jobro. That forces the ball into the blue corner, and Noah will clear it away.
Oh, and just barely able to make it over. But still, back to that last play. Still so impressed by the pre-jumps coming out of the UConn defense. And for UTK, that's got to be so frustrating where you're creating such a good opportunity, but there's just that sole read coming through from your opponents. As there's a good bump. Hermes opens the door. This one's in the corner, and no one has an angle.
Shaka's gonna get the goal here, but this is all off the bump. Hermes just gets Gavin off of the ball possession, and Noah too deep into the net. You gotta be sitting outside on that far post if you're gonna make the save, but he was too quick to the play, read it all too early, and thus it's an easy shot follow-up for Tennessee that gives them the lead. They might have another here, but Gavin comes up clutch with another save.
That's a very clutch save. I think falling down 2-0 might be a little too much for UConn to bear this late in the game, as now a few demos makes it tough for Noah to know exactly which way to go. Will be able to get the read over. Now Gavin not quite able to pick things up, but Shaka bringing this back towards his own side of the pitch. That again, another tough position, but with Shiro going down, that's going to be the attack falling apart, and finally able to make it on defense. Now UTK, they're hungry. They want that insurance to make sure that they can walk away with this game, but UConn, the Huskies, still sniffing for more.
UConn's comms are a little off right now. There's a triple commit followed by no one going for the ball. And all of a sudden, that gives Tennessee some pressure here. They have to work their way through midfield. No one finds a touch. Gavin has to hustle back, but does he have boost? He will after getting the corner, but it gives possession right back to UTK. Shaka wins the 50, high over top of one defender. Not on target, though, as Hermes now rolls that one back through. The 50 goes across. Hermes gets a touch, but it's wide of target, and it will be cleared away by Shiro for the moment. Air dribble denied. Gavin to force it up. Tipped back down. Noah on the challenge onto Hermes. Shiro's up early here. High up the ceiling. Gavin dives in and can't muscle it through. Off the crossbar and out.
Oh, if there was just one more UConn player there, that's surely a goal, as Noah denied as well by Shaka just off the post. And that's two beautiful opportunities saved by UTK, and UConn put everything into that attack, and it turns into a goal for the Volunteers.
Hermes again with the feed. Look at this. Puts it in a bad spot for Shiro, and Jobro with the read. Recognizing Shiro went high. I can sneak this back low and underneath the diving defender, and does just that. 2-goal lead with 30 seconds remaining.
Oh, and we haven't seen really any strings of goals come through for UConn. We've seen wins with 3-0, but now UTK looking to have their first time with that scoreline.
Look at this again. Hermes gets it over top of Gavin, and Jobro just believes. I mean, that ball is on the post, and the defense is right there, and he says, I do not care. I'm shoving this ball into the back of the net and taking a 3-goal lead.
Oh, and this feels all but over, as Noah gonna try and look for one, gonna fight until the end, but every second that goes by is another second towards UTK taking their 5th win of the season. It's been Jobro, Shaka, and Hermes that have made this roster, this team, this squad level up. And they are certainly showing it as they take down one of the strongest teams out of the Big East in UConn, as Hermes just waiting to let this one drop.
And eventually it will, and UTK take game 5. And what a series this was to start off our night. But credit where credit's due to both teams. Some big plays by really everyone on the pitch. But at the end of the day, Tennessee just a little bit faster to the play, just reading things a little bit quicker, and thus dragging UConn into the chaos. And I cannot commend this offense for Tennessee enough. The fact that they were able to find the gaps in UConn's defense and perfectly exploit them. I mean, those passes by Hermes off of the near post, just perfect placement. And Jobro, the belief that that ball is going to get through cleanly, that is magic to watch.
Yeah, game 5, it was all about those really thin margins and that trust UTK had built up. What I love to see was both of these teams showed that they could adjust to their opponents, showed that they could really bring it when it mattered. And of course, for UTK, having that clutch factor in games 2 and 3 to secure the wins, absolutely incredible. A fantastic opener. And we got 3 more matches. That was just number 1, as we're going to take a quick break before hopefully hearing from one of the members of UTK. And then remember, there's 3 more matches after that. We'll be back. welcome back. As we just saw series go the distance between two very even teams, and UTK coming out on top as we're joined by Joe Bro from UTK. And Joe Bro, how you feeling after that win? It went to 5. You guys had 2 where it went where you had to win it in overtime. Really tight stuff. How you feeling?
We're just glad we came out with the win there. That was definitely not our best series. So if you pull out a win in the end, you can never be too upset, I guess.
Fair enough. What was it about this series that gave you guys such a struggle? I mean, it's not very often that you guys go to Game 5.
Well, we haven't played together since our last EGF match 2 weeks ago, and that doesn't really help. I think we were a little rusty as a team because we've all been doing like random other like weekly tournaments with different people, just having some fun. So it kind of took us a minute to click back together. But I think in Game 5 we finally figured it out, and we were like, "Oh yeah, we've been teammates before. We can do this."
And that chemistry that you guys have was really evident, like you said, as the series went on. In particular, you and Hermes connected on a couple of passes late to get those goals to get you guys the victory. Can you kind of speak to the chemistry between you and Hermes? Because it felt like Hermes was, nailing pass after pass, and you were going in despite there being, a wall of defenders in front of you.
Yeah, I think that's something that that's just part of our play style, I guess. I kind of just wait for the ball, way too close, really, for if you're playing the game properly, I guess. Because I'll just be like on top of him and wait for him to hit it off the backboard and just be like sitting right there to shoot it. So I think it catches a lot of teams off guard because I just shouldn't be that close. But he always knows where I am, and he'll just say backboard, and I'm just like, "Yep, I'm there," and it ends up in their net. So it's always good when it does.
Oh, that's good to hear. And sort of going the other way in game number 3, where it felt like you guys were going to round it out. It was 2-1 at 0 seconds, and then Gavin just somehow sneaks it past. What was that like for you guys as a team, having to sort of reset from, I think we've got this in the bag, to, all right, we got to win in overtime?
We were all just like perplexed by the bounce because we all saw the bounce and we were like, that went down. And then like he somehow like pinched it off the post. We were like too caught up in that to even worry about like playing the rest of the game. Even after the game when we won, we were still like, how did that bounce down? So we're just a little confused on the physics there, but I guess it was a funny
game. Right?
Yeah. That was one of those kind of moments where we're just like, okay.
Yeah,
but it pulled it out.
Yeah, you guys had a great win today. And I was going to say, if there's anyone you'd like to shout out for the dub, this is your opportunity.
Shout out my teammates, obviously. I'm glad we came back from the break and we're still all right. Shout out to our club, to our other teams. Shout out to Sarah from marketing, been putting in work for us. Yeah, I think that's it.
Love to hear it. Shout out to Sarah in marketing, putting the work in behind the scenes, and you guys putting in the work on the pitch, winning out, making it to a positive end of first split record. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the spring. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And for all y'all at home, we've still got 3 more matches to go. We got Auburn versus Cincinnati, Delaware RIT, USC NAU, but it's going to be that matchup of Auburn and Cincinnati, the Bearcats versus the Tigers, as we'll be right back. Welcome back. I said it'd be a quick break. We're right here with Auburn versus Cincinnati. These two squads saw it was a late game, and now they're ready to roll off that best of 5. Auburn, strong at the start, struggled a little bit in the later half of this split, and Cincinnati, they're staying strong 5-2.
Yeah, this one should be a really interesting one because we know Auburn has a high ceiling. This, especially with how they played early in the year. They looked like they were going to be one of the powerhouses, especially after they got that victory over UTA. But ever since that game, they've been kind of streaky. There's been a lack of consistency. Some games they feel like they're ready to, elevate themselves to be that upper echelon. There's been a lot of games for them where they win by a massive scoreline, but the series then gets away from them where they'll lose the series 3-1 or so. Whereas Cincinnati, they continue to consistently pump out points.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And it's off the back of playmakers like Frick and Barry. Sai, of course, has been in and out of the roster, but this has been an incredibly strong team. And for Auburn, right there, that first car we saw, Josh Mango has been their real playmaker, as immediately off the rip, Frick almost able to get a starter, and this one saved by Dreskel. The Bearcats are hungry for an early one.
That one was dangerous there, but able to hold on was Auburn. Good demo on the backside here by Dreskel. Brett will have to clear that one away. He's one of the players that's kind of been in and out of the lineup as well. Good to see him get back onto the pitch, though, against one of these top squads, as that's going to be a dart towards mid, and Frick will score on a laser of a shot.
Yeah, and I just want to watch this one back, and you see 69 miles an hour. That's an absolute screamer, and Josh Mango just cannot get a single wheel in front of the ball, as we're going to see everyone back on the pitch, as the Bearcats, they wanted that early goal and certainly grabbed it.
Very good job by them to really generate some good offensive chances through really powerful touches into this bottom third of the Auburn defensive side. But a whiff comes through, and that's going to leave an open door here for Frick to make it 2-0. Josh Mango here, unable to really control this ball cleanly, doesn't get a powerful clear, and it ends up ricocheting right to the hood of Frick.
Yeah, and I'm just not sure where the rest of the Auburn defense was. This is certainly a squad that I don't think should be giving away goals like that, so we'll have to see if they can recover. But an early 2-goal lead for Cincinnati, never something you want to give away to such a strong squad, as now Threat will try and find a bit of an opportunity, but Sai reads this well and is able to really get it past two in that moment. It's straight over to Barry. Nice little pitch out with the demo, but Sai just wasn't quite confident enough as he leaves this one for Frick, and the backboard cleans it up for Auburn. Dreskel trying to take this the other way.
Still dangerous here, but a lot of demos coming through for Cincinnati, which has not been a staple of their offense, but they're finding opportunities, and it means that Auburn's defense, it's real static. It's not too mobile, and even here, Dreskel has to kind of back away. In terms of positioning, Auburn's got to be very careful about where they put themselves to make some of these defensive plays, because Cincinnati, they're on the hunt, but right now it is Auburn keeping this ball in the red half, maintaining some decent possession until this sequence here. Sai can't find the touch. Frick will now rotate in, chip over one, can't get by the second, but the third man was up, and Barry will score off the back of it.
Yeah, and this is just Cincinnati being a little bit quicker on their recoveries and also just not falling so far out of the play. Barry was the one to start it and was able to stay decently close. And as well, Cincinnati, just some great communication, not overcommitting to a lot of these positions. It's given them already a 3-goal lead.
Cincinnati doing a very good job of possessing the ball and finding those pockets that Auburn are not occupying. That's going to be a good clear, though, thanks to the demo. Josh Mango will sit back, let his teammates in to go hunting. But can he get a double tap here? No, just barely wide, but still a good shot on. The rebound is there, but Sai will kick it to the boards. Dreskel now up for it, has a full tank of boost, keeps it on his nose, can't get the flip reset until it's too late. Barry keeps it in the red half here, but a good challenge will get over top of Threat, and Barry will now be one-on-one. Good save here by Dreskel. Sai will keep it at the midfield. Frick now on the catch. Down low, tries to fake one out. 50 goes high for Barry. Frick continuing to harass the third line. Sai gets 50, and Dreskel gets Auburn to safety.
Yeah, and finally we're seeing a little bit of that aggression come out from the Tigers. It seemed like they were just a little slow, a little hesitant in a lot of these plays and a lot of these touches. His Threat just not able to drop that one down. Certainly the idea for Auburn in that moment was to try and drop it down, get past the defense, and instead it almost makes its way into their own net as Dreskel, just a little slow, manages to get a 50. Threat wasn't ready for that bounce, going to try and ferry this one out, but it's straight to Sai.
Still a little dangerous here for Auburn, but oh, wait a minute, hold on. Frick might have a double. It's nearly ricocheted by Threat into his own net, but he baited one up, and now it might be 2-on-2 the other way if Frick can get back in time. Won't need to. Sai dishes that one across, and no real chance for Josh Mango to shoot that one. Could have been dangerous, but Cincinnati play it smart and escape.
Oh, that they do. And that was almost a great opportunity for Auburn, but the bumps come through. And you mentioned it early on. We don't see a ton of physicality out of Cincinnati on the regular, but this time there have been plenty of bumps, plenty of holes just made by these opportunities, and plenty of offensive shots taken away. Now Barry tries to get up, didn't quite have it, or instead it's an exaggerated fake for Sai, who gets bumped off the play. And now this is a tough spot, just a 1v1. Looks for the bump, can't quite grab it onto Barry, and that's gonna be Auburn still staying scoreless.
Oh, this could be a chance, though. Driscoll's bouncer hits the goal line save, and he'll pick up the rebound. Great recognition here. Threat's pass was beautiful, and the bouncer gets saved by Sai, but Driscoll turns and will not be denied today.
Oh, and that's great for Auburn. We've seen just this constant pressure, a lot of these aggressive 50s starting to go their way, and eventually the pressure just mounts to be a little too much. Right there, an awkward touch from Frick. Auburn just not quite able to make use of it, as Sai is going to look for one more goal before this clock expires. It's a decent pass over, and now the camera's just flying about. This is, again, I think Auburn wanting to get one more at the very least for themselves, but could also threaten that goal line opportunity, as that's a screamer downfield sent to the side by Sai. Now 10 seconds to go. Feels all but wrapped up for Cincinnati.
Tick, tick, tick goes the clock here. Cincinnati will maybe give one up here, just barely off target and short, so the Bearcats will hold on to that 3-1 score line there. I mean, they came out the gate swinging, but I have to say, as that match went on, Auburn started to wake up a bit more and felt like they were adapting to the pace a bit better. And Cincinnati, maybe they were pre-jumping a little bit too much with that 3-goal lead, but there were a lot of chances that, they just did not read the line of, and it allowed Auburn to get some good quality chances and eventually led to that goal by Driscoll.
Yeah, it did feel like this was an Auburn team that just had to wake up to the just constant pressure coming out from Cincinnati in that opening minute. As we really got past halftime, it felt like Auburn was getting a lot more confident. They were making these 50s happen. And once Cincinnati stopped being able to connect with each other, their plans started to fall apart. Of course, we still saw some great counterattack opportunities. We still saw a few shots come through, but certainly not that dominance we saw in the opening minute.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how this kind of paces out too, because again, we've had a couple different lineup iterations from the side of Cincinnati in the past, but Barry and Barry and Frick have all played together. This was kind of the original lineup through all of last year, as Frick nearly mishandles that one into his own net. And it's going to give Auburn a chance to kind of push the pace here early. I also love the fact that we called it out. Cincinnati has been going for more physical play throughout this series, at least through game number 1, and Auburn are not backing down from it. They are also going for demo plays. Think of the air dribble bump attempt we saw late, as Cincinnati are on the push here in game number 2.
Exactly. Those are the kinds of opportunities that Auburn's really trying to create. And from, I think, 10 seconds, we saw bump coming through for the Tigers. So certainly they want to get their claws out. And right there, a demo on the net, and the bounce just works.
Crazy angle here. One that you don't often see, off the sidewall and in, because the backman gets demoed, and Barry just does not read that angle correctly in time. Think he rotated too far past that near post and didn't recognize how fast that ball was going to come inside on him. So 75-mile-per-hour shot off the wall tells you how much power that ball really had.
Yeah, I think there was a little extra extension from that final touch, but it was still at least like 50 miles an hour off the side wall. That is, again, just not the kind of power you expect from that. And again, the physicality being the difference maker, and now almost another opening opportunity. This one just wide, so even though Brett a little slow, won't be punished quite yet, and this bounce is a little too strong as no one from the Bearcats is actually able to respond.
Frick up for an air dribble here, but he gets bumped off of it. And again, no one able to follow up cleanly. Cincinnati, their offense has been a little bit more of a three-man push in terms of positions, but it will be Threat again getting a goal here, and Cincinnati's defense caught off guard here. We'll see. Oh, Barry thought that Josh Mango was going to get the double tap, and then Threat is just ready to see the whiff in coming and punishes correctly.
Yeah, I don't think Mango was ever planning on actually making that double. I think he recognized there just wasn't that opportunity. But there is the threat of the double, and with it being one of the star playmakers for Auburn, Barry has to go up. It's an easy collect for the rest of the team, and now this is a complete 180 from what we saw in Game 1. It's Auburn with that opening 2-goal lead. It's Cincinnati who are trying to force their way in, and oh, that was almost a great opportunity, but still just off enough for this to still be a 2-0 game.
Cincinnati know they need to do something to kind of throw a wrench in the game plan here. They're looking for a bump in front, doesn't find it. Shot just wide there. Frick trying to turn here, but he's using a lot of boost. Doesn't have a whole lot of power here. The 50 pinches high, oversized head. Is this on target? It is. Will be saved by Cy, but now the Bearcats have to go the full distance once more. They launch it downfield. Threat is there to try and find a pocket, but Cy races over, keeps it in the orange half. Demo comes through. Frick goes high off the backboard. Now a chance to follow up, but it is redirected to the corner. Frick tries to turn, but he's too slow to it. Cy can't get over. He will get a demo, but the ball's behind him, which means Frick has to go forward. Over Josh Mango and cleared away. Threat being in so many key spots here defensively for Auburn, finding some pockets that are unoccupied.
Yeah, Threat has done a fantastic job of staying in the play, and just like that again, stays deep in the net after the demo comes through, ready for the option, and saves the team. As right there, I don't think that was on. I think it would have been off the backboard, but still scary. So now Threat gonna pitch this over to the corner, leave it for someone, and that someone's gonna be Frick for the moment. Doesn't get the greatest touch, but it's still Bearcat possession, as there's another bump. It's almost into the net, or almost scoreable, and there's one defender just in time as this is floating, and Frick's gonna send it away.
Be saved away. Cincinnati know they need something here, but they've been able to create some high quality chances, but they can't afford to give up another, and that 50 is gonna go awry. Threat will pop that one up to the wall here. Mango diving at this one with zero boost. Again, just forcing Cincinnati to kind of make these plays that you don't feel most confident in, but you know they have to be made. And it will set up Barry here. What an air dribble by Cy to set up his teammate.
Oh, and I just want to watch this one back. Just gets that extra touch, and then Barry's ready to receive. Mango was playing for Cy's shot, and Barry able to just cut it down. And now, Cincinnati in striking distance, a minute to go. Seems they figured something out to get that one goal, but still, it took them quite a while to get there. Do they have the time?
This is the big question here. I think the biggest thing for Auburn to focus on right now to try and close this one out is boost control. Josh Mango in that last sequence that gave up a goal did not have the boost to dive over and make the play. He just kind of floated there along the goal line, but this is 2-on-1 the other way, and he has to make another key save. What a huge one that was. Cy maintains possession with 30 seconds left. In the orange half, they beat one player. They can't get the good 50, and Threat can't get the redirect on target. Good angle, but just barely wide of the net.
Oh, and we saw that opportunity. It was golden. And if you see that third goal come through for Auburn, the game's all but over. And even now, as the clock continues to tick down, it feels like it's all Tigers, as they struggled in Game 1, started to figure it out in the second half. And now here in Game 2, just need to let this ball touch the ground, as there's one more save for Threat, one more pop for Frick. And finally, we're going to see this one stay in the air. Barry not wanting to give up. Cy still on it. That one's on target. And Driscoll saves the day for the Tigers.
Oh, what a save from Driscoll. That shot was perfect corner. That was labeled for the back of the net. Cincinnati did it right. They got the shot. But Auburn's defense, they sit back, they wait, they see the play, and they make a goal line save. And I'm shocked we're not headed to overtime.
Yeah, me too. It felt like at the start, I'm just like, oh, this is just gonna be a couple pops. They're trying to make an opportunity, but then Barry gets it high. Cy has an angle, and suddenly my heart's pounding, and I'm sure everyone on the pitch was as well. But it's a 1-1 series score instead. And I mean, this is exactly, I think, what we were expecting. But after game one, it felt like Cincinnati might have had that edge, but Auburn really striking strong.
Auburn did a really good job offensively of creating these solid opportunities off of the mistakes of Cincinnati. You know, the whiff off the backboard, not being in the right spot rotationally. Cincinnati are really consistent, but they are very spread out in their rotation. So Auburn, recognizing that, cutting a few of these rotations a little bit early offensively has given them some good chances, but their defense is where things can get kind of scary. This is still Cincinnati's offense as Frick nearly had a goal line redirect. This one could still be on target, and it is! Barry gets the crossbar and down.
Oh man, and Barry finally getting paid for all the hard work at the 0-second mark from last game, able to just get right ahead. And that's exactly the kind of start you want if you're Cincinnati or just a Cincinnati fan, where you had that tough game too. They were held down for the majority of it, and now you're just able to strike early just like in game one.
30 seconds in, Frick looking for the 50, smartly played there, recognized the spacing, and just kept his nose on the ball. Will be cleared away. Godfrey not really able to get a good challenge there at midfield. Means Cincinnati is going to continue to push forward here. Frick looking for a pass, but Cy too far underneath it. Pop up, back pass here. Threat trying to look forward, but unable to really turn one on target. Driscoll goes up for this one. It's a fake for a shot from Josh Mango. It is cleared away. No touch from Barry. Frick goes off the wall. Does he have a second one? Yes, and Threat will kick that one to the boards. Barry with minimal boost tries to go towards the backboard, and Cincinnati getting caught too far upfield time and time again, especially Cy in particular, lurking around that midfield. The ball is just barely flying over his head, and it's forcing Cincinnati to burn a lot of boost to get back into the right spots.
That is, I think, the biggest test is if Cincinnati is going to be able to have that boost management, because we've seen that Auburn really struggles with it at times, and now Cy almost managing it perfectly for the shot, and instead it's just a setup for Barry, as that's already a 2-0 after just about a minute and a half.
You were talking about the boost management, comes into play there. Two players for Auburn go towards that corner boost. One of them turns upfield, but he's already too late to the air dribble, and the second player is too late to the backboard because he's not sure if the challenge is going to come through in time. Sets it up perfectly for the follow-up shot off the double commit to the corner boost, and thus Cincinnati take a 2-goal lead.
Now for Auburn, they really struggled in the same position in game one. Of course, we saw them able to get one back, and now there's a nice screamer from Mango to shut me up as Auburn answer back immediately.
44 miles per hour, but it felt faster, and look how quickly he races over.
It's the bounce. They're lying to us. That was like 65.
That was an incredible shot there from Josh Mango to find that pocket again, just seemingly out of nowhere, races in before the defense is even able to react. And that's what we were talking about with the rotation of Cincinnati being just a little bit farther than you'd think, being a little bit too far out of pace there. But Ademo's gonna set up Frick for the goal. What a pass from Cy, and what a shot from Frick.
Oh man, and Cincinnati answer right back, because that's just a perfect shot down. Not much to analyze beyond. Cincinnati was just a bit faster to the play, taking advantage of that early chaos. And now we're getting close to halftime, and we've still got an insurance score line for Cincinnati with them being 2 up. Driscoll going to try and carry this one out, but loses control. Mango getting it past Cy, but it's still just a pass over to Barry. And it feels like every time Auburn takes a step forward, there's another one back as Frick shot on target. Can't quite get the dunk.
That was nearly another one for Cincinnati off of a giveaway. Auburn really struggling to find ways to cleanly get this ball out of their own half. Mango will get this one out. Not really able to follow up off the back of it, though, means Barry can march forward through the corner once more, but Threat is there, centering pass, Mango racing after it, has to use all of his boost really to get over, leads to a shot that's just wide from Dreskel. Love the worm burner attempt, but it's just not on target. 50 will come through from Sai here, and that means Frick can march forward. And again, I think it's the presence of Cincinnati offensively. This initial attacker, whomever it may be, is doing a really good job of harassing the third man on this backline for Auburn, putting them out of position and making these clears really difficult.
Yeah, and I'm going to let this one come through. Okay, Sai makes the save, but I want to speak to Cincinnati's success at managing their 50s really, really well. Whether they're making sure that this is either going to be a dead even 50 for their second man, or it's going to be a pinch back out to the third. These are little details that really open the door, and that was a great opportunity for Auburn. Even had the in-net demo, the shot just barely off the post, and that one hurts as this one, two's already gone. Dreskel doesn't have the shot. There's an attempt in over the top, and Threat seals the deal as it's a 1-goal difference with a minute to go.
Dreskel, you genius! Look at this double tap, and he lands on Sai! Sai gets Goomba stomped. He can't jump up to go for the save. What a play by Dreskel to set up his teammate. And just like that, Auburn's back within striking distance with inside a minute remaining.
Oh, and this is where it gets a little scary for the Bearcats. It reminds me a lot of Game 1, except we didn't have a 1-goal difference. We didn't have another near post shot, excuse me. That one just denied for a second. So now Dreskel is going to try and tap over. Instead, we've got Cincinnati control, size up for this, but so is Barry, calls off the teammate, and that shot still wide. Now there's some awkwardness for all parties involved. Mango's got a good opportunity, but Frick's got the better read.
It's deflected outside as well. Dreskel forks it off the wall, but only Sai is there. This could be a double tap. It would have been, except for Mango as the read. Now Dreskel forcing an early save here, trying to keep the pace of play up. Bump onto Barry, short side shot, still saved by Barry. The recovery too clean. Frick now on the air dribble, looking to kill some clock here. Threat is along the wall with I'll take a boost, but he loses possession. Goes to the orange backboard. No touch comes through, kept up by Dreskel. Can he find his teammate? A demo comes through, a massive one, and that means the Bearcats will go to match point.
Just barely holding on at the end. So many tight opportunities, and that last second save from Barry, I could hardly believe it. I mean, just half a second behind the play was Auburn in that moment, and Barry as well. As you said, that recovery just too clean, because there's plenty of players, myself included, who would not have gotten up in time for that.
I mean, that bump along the goal line seemed like that was the opening. That was it. That was the play. But the ball, just not enough pace behind it. And Josh Mango so close, inches away from beating that defender. But the fact that he was able to recover so quickly saves the day. And even at the end there, too, you see all three members of Auburn, although they're packed together towards the middle, they've all got full tanks of boost. Dreskel off the wall, and the two players there both at 100. But a demo comes through, so all of a sudden that communication gets thrown out the window. One player has to go, but he's got no idea where that challenge is going to come from if that following player on that demo is going to be able to bump him as well. Throws off the communication, and it means Cincinnati close out Game 3.
Yeah, and that was, again, Auburn showing that they can hang, but just not quite being able to get over the line until Dreskel threads the needle.
Dreskel's having himself a series right now. So many key plays, and look at the here. So many touches off the wall there from Threat, and the defense just off that goal line means that they can do nothing about it. They have to react. They have to wait for that ball, whereas Dreskel can dive right in.
And the fact is, that's a great opener for Auburn to get their mentals back in check. I mean, I think similar to Cincinnati in game number 3, where you just barely lost. You had a great opportunity, and then instead, you just strike early, you strike hard, and you put the opponent straight on the defense. And now Frick not able to get the extension that he wants. Sai gonna try and keep the play alive, does so. This is awkward for a second, finally ferried away by Threat.
Teams are doing a pretty good job of making sure this ball doesn't stay in the corner for all that long as a whiff comes through, which means Barry will have to play this one. Mango now with a chance here, looking for the backboard. Can't get back across to that 50. Punched all the way over by Threat. Driscoll doesn't find a touch. This is an odd man rush the other way. Frick looking for a pass, has Sai, shot, untargeted in! Sai doesn't miss, tie game at 1.
Oh man, and we are all even after just a few more seconds, and Sai just barely beating 2. You can see how close the defense is, but a great stinging shot and just fantastic speed from the Bearcats, reigning supreme in that moment. Now Mango trying to get past. Brett bails from that play, and I don't think I would have agreed with that unless he can put something together here, but it felt like Brett had the angle, and instead Josh Mango's got the read, and it's going to be a bit more boomer ball here.
He's playing for the 50, but oh wow, what a redirect underneath there. Driscoll has to make the save on Barry's redirect. Frick, flip reset over 1. Mango tries to carry that ball out. Sai cuts him off. Threat is there to block out Barry, who will get the corner boost as well. And he immediately turns upfield, takes out a defender, which means Mango has to jump early and make that save. 2 players back here for Auburn, and that kick out up the wall means Driscoll will have to sit back and now goes for an air dribble attempt. Frick won't find a touch. Barry dives over, and no touch comes through defensively. Barry's shots on target, and it's 2-1 Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, and you can see here Josh Mango just real awkward, doesn't have any momentum, so just has to try and run at the ball, and that's a terrible position to try and approach from. And you can see the teammate behind wasn't quite sure what to do, and it just leaves the door open for Barry. So now we're gonna see another carry forward, double gonna be attempted. Great patience from Driscoll to send that to the side.
Lead here for Cincinnati is big. Auburn, can they find something? Can they find a defensive stand? They do get over top of 1, maybe over top of 2. A pass down in front. It's quick for Threat. Now Mango's up early to this one. Can he get back to it? Has a flip reset. Does get the touch, and it will go in! Off the back of a defender diving across, but Mango will gladly take one as it ties the game at 2.
Yeah, and I think that Frick here is just awkward, and Barry has to try and race, but there's multiple members coming from the side off previous double commit. Josh Mango, that's a real awkward reset, but it's still so difficult to read, and now just beats the defender to give Auburn 2 in about 10 seconds.
Mango's gonna get brace here, but this was all off of his own kickoff, and it was won so cleanly that he was able to quickly recover and turn. Often on those kickoffs, your car goes ricocheting away, you go back towards mid-boost, but in that situation, the recognition to immediately turn and kick that one back on target gives the Tigers the lead.
Oh, and this is a big lead for them, especially after Cincinnati was able to bring back their own lead after Auburn's initial aggression, but oh, that's a dangerous touch from Mango, barely ekes it out, and now wasn't quite a save, but still felt very, very dangerous. It's a double commit coming through for Auburn. Very dicey stuff in the moment, but it seems Auburn able to settle down unless Barry's got the angle.
Here, so Frick launches this ball, and Barry from midfield is up for it, and Auburn just get caught watching the ball instead of the man. They're saying, all right, well, it's headed towards our corner. Wait, what do you mean there's a Bearcat already up for it? 3-3 game thanks to a beautiful shot, but maybe Threat can come up with something here. Sai says no and shuts the door.
Oh man, and that last play, I'm still a little perplexed that Auburn was just stuck to the ground. Like, they were awkward, but surprised no one made an attempt, or no one was reading that option as even a possibility, it felt, for the Tigers. And uncharacteristic just lapse in the defense for them. And that's going to cost this now being a tie game, as Frick's going to just fire this one on target, and that's a lead already for the Bearcats as swiftly as it was taken away.
66 miles per hour, another laser, similar to what we saw from Josh Mango not too long ago. And that's the danger of those up the boards type of clears off the corner. If you don't get it high or out off the wall, it gives a shot like that so much power, and it's easy to execute upon for Cincinnati, and they bury it too to make it 4-3.
Now the onus back on to Auburn. Josh Mango just not able to quite connect with Dreskel. A little heavy on that touch, as this is going to be pitch out to the side, but it's still straight back to the Bearcats. Brett has a good opportunity, but Frick reads it a little bit better. And this is another moment where you have to see if this is going to be a matter of teams racing for the ball in midfield and just whoever's a little quicker, or if there's going to be that difference maker, like a bump, like some physicality. We almost saw that on the Threat.
Threat able to evade that 2v1. The shot just wasn't on target. He was getting bumped as well. There he gets bumped, and this one could be a goal. It's on the goal line, and it's in. The physical play acting as a trump card here. Barry from distance to make it 5-3.
On Dreskel, just a little too far behind. Slows it down for a second, but not able to do much more. Those ones hurt for Auburn. They got 30 seconds to try and get to force this overtime. Otherwise, it's going to be Cincinnati heading up to 6-2 to round off the split. And Auburn falling to 3-5, just like this game, or make that 3-6 as Cy really seals the deal.
From Cy. Pop-up off the back of his car, and then the angle on this drop down. Are you kidding me? Threat's looking at that one like, all right, well, is it on? Is it on? Oh my God, it is. And all of a sudden, an explosion of goals. 3-6 the scoreline.
Yeah, and I think Auburn, they're going to try and get some back for pride here, but it is all Cincinnati, and Frick, most of all, has been one of the playmakers. Really, Barry felt like the standout, but a nice little carry to get one more on the board. Do that stat pattern for the tiebreakers at the end of the season.
Cincinnati, they look really good. Auburn gave them a run for their money, and you can see again those glimpses from Auburn where they look good. They look like they can compete with the top, but it's been consistency that's really been their Achilles heel as of late, as they struggle to find one here. Threat can't get the touch. This ball will touch the ground, and Cincinnati will walk away with a series victory and nearly a goal to boot.
Oh man, if they got that 8th one, that would have just been insult to injury. But Cincinnati, they really stepped up, showed that they were the stronger team overall. And honestly, that game felt like it was just so incredibly tight. And those last couple of goals, I think you can throw away from Auburn. This game really felt like it was settled at 3-5 when there was just that last moment that the Tigers just couldn't quite keep it together, and Cincinnati took advantage.
The equivalent of pulling the net down too, and it doesn't go your way, and the score starts to run away from you. But either way, Cincinnati continue to march up in these standings. 6-2 now is how they'll finish out the fall split, and they look really, really good. Auburn, again, there were moments throughout this series where you feel like, okay, this team has the offensive capability. They have the talent. They have the mechanics. But just being able to pull it all together on the same week, on the same day for these weekly matchups has been the struggle for them. They started off the year hot, but now they've got a long break to try and get back to that level.
Yeah, and I think that this is a squad that could really step up in the offseason. They get that practice together. They shore up a few of these moments where it feels like they're just waiting for their teammate to go. This is definitely a team that can try to surge in the spring split. But now we're going to have to get geared up to see if Delaware can take down Rochester, give them their first loss, or if the other Tigers can stay undefeated as one fell in this matchup. We'll be back after a quick break. And welcome back. We've had some amazing matches already, and we've got two more lined up. We're going to round off the day with USC versus NAU. You won't want to miss that one, but right now, we've got Delaware and Rochester, this Blue Hen squad trying to give the Tigers their first loss.
The beasts of the East's about to clash here. Delaware, the 5-2 on the current season thus far. They look really strong, but RIT are that number one seed right now, undefeated as we've mentioned, and they've been blowing a lot of teams out of the water. Plus 65 goal differential. They've only dropped 3 maps that were games all season long. 2 of them coming just last week, or really 2 weeks ago, against UTA. But if there's one team that historically has had RIT's number in the Eastern Conference, it's been Delaware, especially in key moments like this. So this is an enticing matchup.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited to see these squads go, and it's going to be the players we see on screen, the cream of the crop for both of these schools. Stellar, Scooter, and Odds for the Hens, and Sebward, Sunblaze, and Jakob for the Tigers. And this is still that core CRL team for Rochester. No wonder they've been so strong. And for the Hens, they've continued to develop from year to year. This program going varsity and getting that extra support is certainly shown in their performances across the EGFC.
So much depth on the field here. Obviously, RIT with that CRL level of play, they are the most experienced team, and they've really shown a lot of mechanical prowess too. But the University of Delaware are so good at just coming up with this innate chemistry between the three, no matter who is stepping into the ring here. We'll have to see who comes out on top, as RIT in the orange, Delaware in the yellow, and through the first 20 seconds, it's going to be RIT on the press here as they start looking for some passing lanes, but nothing availing quite yet.
Yeah, Odds and Scooter actually making contact on the back line. That was scary for a second for the Hens, but they're not. There's not any great opportunities for Rochester immediately following, so we're going to see this one pitch back out to the midfield. And finally, I think, cross the midfield line for the first time in these past few, I want to say 20 seconds, is now Odds trying to just play shadow as Scooter makes the save. Everyone's pretty far forward for Rochester, but they're just holding this midfield line, and that might just be a pitch back into their own net as Stellar gets a lucky one.
Stellar is one of the top scorers on Delaware. He's one of the top scorers in the EGF, and here he gets a lucky bounce that he'll gladly take off the hood of a RIT car there up to the upper third, and even though RIT's got a defender back, no one's ready for the speed of that ricochet.
Yeah, and that's one that it's just a bit unlucky, but Stellar's going to be saying calculated all the way home as a nice little dunk down straight onto Sebward. And Rochester realizing that they've got to step up, but already a couple double commits coming through for Delaware. They haven't been punished yet, but it feels like it's just a matter of time if they can't quite clean that up, as Odds not quite ready to receive the pass, instead just has to pop it up. And Stellar keeps this one going forward. Odds looking for more. Tap off to the side, and instead it's going to be picked up. And this is just constant pressure now in front of the orange net, not something Rochester's used to.
Defense really being tested here. Odds is one of my players to watch throughout this series. He's the newest name to this Delaware squad. Although he's been around for a while, he's kind of been in and out of the lineup. When you look back at the years that Delaware has gotten the better of RIT, it's been players like Vixa, who's so smart, so many key touches over top. Stellar with these pop-off games. Odds is really going to have to level up here, I think, if Delaware is going to take down this undefeated Tigers squad here, as they're starting to march forward now. Look at the passing lane. Sebward looking for that backboard. Stellar quick to clean that one up.
Oh, and these are the moments in the midfield that Delaware's just getting more and more confident, as that's another cross over. It gets easily cleared away, but still this boomer ball has just been handing it back over to the Blue Hens. That's another cross that Jakob's just a little too close on. This one bounces in front of the net, and finally Sebward's able to collect off a missed touch from the Delaware defense.
So Stellar here turns best he can to try and make this save, but 2 players dive at the rebound for it, and the fact that Stellar actually made a touch at the near post threw off both players, and thus it's an easy backdoor goal for RIT to clean up, and as we cross that halfway marker, it's back to a tied game at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and I really think that you can afford to leave that one for your teammates who are racing across. There's not the immediate response available for RIT, and instead, you just get it out of the way of your teammates just trying to make that save. This is going to be a nice shot from Sunblaze, saved away by Scooter, sent to Jakob, and this is just a series of demos back and forth. The screen's been just full of smoke.
Ooh, and even more coming through there, as controlling this ball is very awkward for both sides. Bumps come through here. Sunblaze trying to send it across, but he is cut off once more. Sebward ends up leaving it. Stellar shot is good. It's on target. What a save by Sunblaze. That far post, had to use everything in the tank to do so. Stellar to keep the pressure on here towards the orange backboard. Drops down for odd shot off. Stellar can't get the rebound, and Scooter bid on the chance. 2-on-2 the other way. Jakob pops it up for himself as a demo came through on the backside, and that will mean this offensive push will kind of futter out, and Scooter will be able to clear this ball away.
Sunblaze not able to get a read, and now all rough recovery for Scooter, not able to get the continuation. And this could create an opening. Bit of physicality attempted. Odds is up, but no one's in net, and Jakob will bring this one home.
Yeah, so Stellar's the last one back here, and he's in a bad spot here. No boost and can't really turn on it cleanly. So Odds has to come up with that touch, but it's just barely out of reach. And RIT recognize the opportunity, get their players up, and nail the shot.
Oh, and that's just so good. And Delaware just haven't been able to put together many opportunities. And there's another great one for Jakob, as they're just, again, faster defense.
Stellar again here has to make a key defensive play, but he gets absolutely red off of that ceiling play, and it ricochets right down in front, and Jakob, the fastest player on the pitch, doesn't miss those.
Absolutely not, giving me flashbacks to some of the speed we saw out of the side of Cincinnati last game. And even before that from UTK, just all of these squads having these opportunities, as Stellar nearly creating one of his own. That was a great redirect off the transition, and now Jakob just goes backboard, and it's another great read from the Hens defense, but it might be too little too late. Only 30 to go, and it's back to Tiger possession.
2-goal game, too, so difficult to try and overcome here if you're Delaware. Scooter is going to have to leave this one. He didn't pick up the corner boost, though. He has to race back. Does he have enough? It almost doesn't matter. That redirect goes high. Scooter still in a bad spot. Stellar able to make that save, but Sunblaze will play for the clock here. Get this one into the orange half. Get the boost as well. Get one defender in, but there's the flick, pinched up and away by Sebward, and what a save to close out game one.
Oh, big one to really just seal the deal at the end. Just again, that clock time you were saying, it felt like there was that flick coming over, and indeed that last save was necessary. Who knows what happens if we go to another kickoff and there's a chance for the Hens to take us to overtime, but still lots of contesting, but Rochester just felt a little bit faster.
Yeah, RIT just a little bit faster to a couple of these plays, but really the recognition too, to see that the defense is flat-footed just a little bit too far into a position or another. Again, seeing places where Stellar wants to be, wants to go with the ball. Stellar is generally in the right spot most of the time, but sometimes when your two teammates are too far up the pitch or couldn't get a great 50, couldn't buy you enough time, you have to make those split-second decisions as to, do I grab boost? Do I position myself accordingly? Do I go back post here? And there's no time for them to make those decisions because RIT are already barreling down upon them, and the execution rate for those types of plays, RIT are one of the best.
That they are. As we're going to see if things can change here in game number 2. Bit of a stinger send over to Odds right off the bat, but instead it's going to be a goal line defense. Nice pickup past one, and now Stellar's going to fly high and just make sure that we don't see any goals right away. Good pass over to Odds. Is this the opportunity? And instead it's just going to be another pop over, and RIT going to be happy to just collect and keep this ball moving as 2 go up, and the save is completed.
You can see Delaware are finding good passing lanes, though, as Scooter has to make a dangerous goal line save there against Sebward. But these passing lanes are there. It's just a matter of actually getting it into a real threatening spot. Stellar high off the backboard. Potential for a shot goes high instead, and Sebward and the rest of the team are able to clear that ball away. Not as clean as you'd like, but that's a giveaway, and Jakob can turn it on target too. Near post and in. Doesn't need the side boost. All he needs is the ball.
And this is exactly the kind of plays you have to be able to get. The fact that's just inside the net, the fact you're not greeding for extra resources and you realize there's an opportunity right in front of you. That's what's gotten RIT to be 7-0 so far, and it's continuing that trend now.
Delaware starting to hunt down, looking for an opening. They might have had one as Sunblaze was unaware of that ball bouncing all the way across. Odds now dropping it down. Unable to push that one on target though. Stellar pops it right to Sunblaze. That's a hard catch, means that Delaware gets to continue to try and 50 this ball into the orange half. But look at a bullet from downtown that Stellar has to make a save on. Sunblaze on the pop-up. Scooter with a good read here. Can't get back to it. Odds gets the 50, but it's not on target. And Scooter gets bumped. Stellar with the shot just wide. The ricochet goes off of Odds' car, and
no.
Sunblaze will turn it into a goal. A giveaway that proves costly.
Oh, and that's just a moment where you're just off the ball, and Scooter right here makes the age-old mistake of going for the boost instead of going for the ball. And that's going to lead this to a 2-goal lead for Rochester. And Delaware does not have as much of the moxie as we saw during a few moments in game number 1.
It doesn't even feel like that was a major mistake. It's just a small play, but oh my mercy! Delaware break through here. They go high. They attack this backboard repeatedly. The pinch kicks up here, and it's perfect for Stellar. Look at that shot placement just inside the crossbar.
Oh man, just bouncing off the backboard. And finally, Stellar is the one to bring it on home, as now Odds makes this one a bit dangerous, maybe looking for a bump, but Sebward's already up. Sunblaze doesn't get the greatest touch, but fortunate that Jakob is able to pick things up. And now, a little awkwardness here in the corner as Delaware continuing this aggression. That's definitely the right call, as Rochester, they're so comfortable to being in control, and now we'll have to see what's next as we're all tied up.
You're talking about comfort. RIT get real uncomfortable thanks to a demo on the backside, and Scooter goes up so quickly. That ball kicks out off the wall so far that I believe it was Sunblaze was just completely, in the wrong spot to read that play, and thus Scooter can quickly turn it back on target. The demo certainly helps to open up the door, but what a read by Scooter on that bounce.
So well done, and it's those little moments that Delaware has to be able to put together, as all this one's sent straight back to Sunblaze, and Odds just not able to get a great touch. You have to make some sort of touch, but this is a spot where it just feels impossible after Stellar goes wide, and Scooter just springs on past. Everyone's got too much momentum, and RIT take advantage.
The save was good, but it has to be better. That ball has to get powered out so that there's no way that Sunblaze can control that ball in any capacity, as that one's going to kick back to Jakob. Scooter, it's 50 by Jakob, and Odds will clear it away. And RIT with a 1-goal lead, still feeling good. And look at this, upping the pace off the backboard once more. Sebward pops it up, forcing some boost here from Scooter. Stellar beats one, but Jakob is back as the safety blanket this time around. We'll be able to get over one momentarily. Stellar actually keeps this one in instead. 2 players here for RIT along the wall. Sunblaze moves forward with no boost. Sebward was going as well, so RIT starting to go on similar lines here. Could mean an opening for Delaware, or at least some sustained time of possession.
Yeah, and this is those moments that we have to see if they can turn that possession into more. We're seeing backboard touches, we're seeing passes across the field. There's nothing quite materializing in the opportunities we've seen so far. It feels like when Rochester's caught off guard for a moment, off of maybe a slightly stronger clear from Delaware, or a pass they didn't expect to come through, that's when Delaware is fine. But it's in these more controlled moments that Rochester just feels so comfortable. And now the clock's starting to tick away. Scooter's in an awkward spot. Stellar won't actually get beat by Sunblaze, so this is an opportunity.
Oh, Stellar, he got the bump as well! What a play! Stellar on the air dribble, bump from the wall, Scooter's misses, Stellar's success.
Oh, and that is so good. And again, you said that one miss turns into success as Delaware tie things up, keep this one close. Now with a minute to go, it feels like the momentum's starting to go towards the Hens unless they give something away.
Gotta be careful here. RIT's offense is lightning in a bottle, though. And this is where things can get dangerous. Scooter trying to move forward here, but all of RIT are at midfield. That ball gets through cleanly, might leave for a chance. Scooter tried to pop that one towards the corner, but he is denied, and Sebward will get blocked out as well. Odds can't beat Sunblaze, but he nearly got the bump, so that's not the touch he was looking for. Somehow gets a Goomba Stomp, shot short side. Jakob is there to catch it with 30 seconds remaining. RIT keeping the ball close to the hood of their cars.
And this is what they have to do. This is where they're successful, when they can keep that control going. Now Sebward keeping the 50 up, making this one still dangerous, and finally Odds gets a good clear away. It's held in this half by Sebward, but Scooter sends it to the side. Now we'll have to see what Jakob can do. Gets over one with that reset, and now we've got 0 seconds on the clock. One final pass to Stellar, a shot on target, and Stellar seals the deal and prevents OT!
Oh my goodness, toss your hats into the ring. Look at this shot. 2 defenders there, and he says, yeah, I got it. Look at that angle. Stellar with a hat-trick goal, and he doesn't even get MVP for his efforts. What a team play from Delaware in 0 time.
Oh my gosh. These guys are just insane. Clutch factor really up. I mean, got goosebumps going. That's why I've got to like get some itches down, because these guys are just making, they're freaking me out with these last minute moments. And Delaware showing again that Rochester, these gods so far, can certainly bleed. And we saw UTA made them bleed last week in the season, but now Delaware's got to do it 2 more times.
It's going to be tough. I mean, it took a lot just to get that game. It took an overtime effort. But you can see, again, Delaware, there are moments. There are chips in the armor here for RIT. These are passing lanes. This is what Delaware does really well. Even though they may not be as experienced as the 3 players for RIT who have all competed at CRL level, they're still able to find windows. They're still able to find passing lanes. And it forces RIT back, because you don't know where the player from Delaware is jumping from. You have to give yourself time, but that allows so much space for a really tactical Blue Hens offense.
Oh, and the nice fake, but both Stellar and Odds just not quite on the read. That was a great play getting put together, and if that was just on target, Delaware would be leading the way already. But instead, Rochester get a bit of a lucky break, and this is still just a 0-0 game. And now we've seen a lot of not very tactical whiffs, as Stellar will finally bring one home.
Stellar continuing to rack up the goal margin here. I mean, he's showing why he's one of the leading scorers in the EGF over his career. Launches that one from distance, but really everyone on RIT getting dragged to that midfield line, and in that kind of scramble, the fact that you're all occupying the same position means once one good clean touch comes through, they will have the aggression, they will have the opportunity to shoot, and Stellar again just does not miss.
No, he does not. Back-to-back goals for this squad. And now, I love that little moment where you can see Sellers being like, I shouldn't be on this ball. I'm going to leave it for Odds, reset this position. And that's some great awareness that I don't think we saw too much of from the Hens in game 1. Oh, man! Stunblaze sends it right into Odds after it was practically handed to his hood. And we're still at a 1-0 game. Another scary moment, but still just the communication seems to really be stepping up for Delaware, and it's needed against this Tiger squad.
I mean, in that goal line save, I think he team pinched it down to the opposite side to give Sunblaze that shot, knowing that there's really nowhere for him to go with that shot because he's so close to the goal line. As long as he doesn't power it through, Delaware's got the muscle to make the goal line save there, and they're able to even clear it away after. But now RIT, they're starting to find some windows. They're starting to find places there in the bottom third. The biggest thing is that RIT, who are normally so good at getting this ball out of the corner have been forced there time and time again, and Delaware is now kind of rinse repeating these booming clears.
Yeah, and it feels like there just isn't much of a response so far from Rochester. We've seen some good approaches from Jakob, and even that shot, it looks decent, but it just turns into this for Stellar, where there wasn't, I think, much of a threat with how soft that was coming down and how close everyone from Rochester was, and Sebward just unaware of the extra member, and that's going to be Delaware taking a 2-goal lead.
2 goals for Stellar, and like you said, just completely caught off guard by the positioning there. Thinks he has a ton of time to play that one to the corner or play that one to the wall, but it is an instant giveaway, and Stellar will get this one, and Scooter on this cut, like you said, will score here, and it's another defensive giveaway for the Tigers that proves costly.
Yeah, these just feel like some blatantly disrespectful moments coming out of Rochester. I saw the vision with that pass, but you've either got to really go for that punch to make sure you're getting past Delaware. Maybe they just didn't see that option available for Delaware. Now with that huge deficit, this is definitely not something Rochester is used to seeing, and we'll have to see whether or not they'll be able to step up and find these answers. We know that they can score. They've got the largest differential in the league. They've been crushing squad after squad, but this feels like Delaware is starting to figure them out.
Big flick here by Jakob. Can't get the follow-up touch, though, and kept to the corner once again. Just down the alley, nothing down Main Street here, as that one ekes through, but still Sebward can't get back over to it. Sunblaze now, a pinch goes high across. Stellar is there. So many touches along the wall, but Sebward reads it well. This ball staying in the orange half, or in the yellow half, but oh my, Scooter with another goal line save here. Delaware's goal line defense standing tall. Jakob now up on an air dribble attempt, gets over one, tries to fight through the corner and does get the dunk, but no one's there to follow up, and Odds can just launch that one back to the other side of the pitch.
And we see all those mechanics coming out from Jakob, and it's very impressive. But the trouble is, you're still only getting past one member, right? And there's still just a strong defensive player waiting for you to run at a boost in momentum, and is going to get that clear away. And then Rochester just doesn't feel like they've had the field coverage that we're used to seeing. And they've started to crunch up a lot more than usual. And now there's just no one ready to respond again to Scooter.
A shot here, so Odds gets a massive 50, and Scooter, the read, are you kidding me? He has to react to that so quickly and still be able to put that ball near post, high side. The defense has next to zero chance at that one, and all of a sudden, this is a massive deficit. RIT, I feel like the most they've ever trailed by is 1 or 2. This is a 4-0 scoreline with a minute remaining.
Oh, and this is just unknown territory this season for the Tigers. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just so shocking to me that Delaware has been so successful at just not only getting these goals, but taking advantage of really uncharacteristic mistakes from Rochester. And I think that's the bigger piece that I'm more shocked with for these mistakes coming through. Not seeing a defender ready to respond. Not watching these extra opportunities that are obviously there, but Sunblaze get one for the road.
Yeah, RIT not to be denied, not to be shut out here. Sunblaze, full effort, just gets that ball through. The miss off the corner leaves him with just enough space, and the bump on the backside too means he can tuck that one in to the near post. But it just takes a lot for RIT to even get to that level. They have to beat this first defender cleanly, and they do here on the air dribble from Jakob, but Scooter is able to make the save, and Delaware with a 3-goal lead, they can play for the clock here, and they probably will as this one kicks down in front. It ricochets, it bounces in, and Sunblaze has a brace.
And, I mean, this is one. You get another one for the road. I don't think we're going to see 2 goals in 6 seconds. It's possible. Certainly possible. But these extra goals coming through have been a lot more. They haven't been the cleanest, but they've certainly looked very RIT, where there are these awkward spots. They're just able to get the extra little touch that you're not expecting a team to be able to grab. And now we're just going to see it drop. Blue Hens get the win.
Delaware move to match point. But yeah, if it does feel like RIT, these are some uncharacteristic mistakes that they've given up some goals upon, and yet they're still within striking distance. That game ends at a 4-2 scoreline thanks to a last-ditch effort. So I feel like the biggest thing, again, cut down on those mistakes, and obviously we have a much closer match. But the other thing, Delaware, again, their defense so stout in the last 2 games. Until those last 2 goals late, they've done a very good job of making sure that the A-grade chances, the shots right down Main Street. I mean, think about where Delaware is scoring from and think about where RIT is shooting from. Every chance for Delaware is inside the box on these ridiculously hard angles to be able to capitalize upon, but they're in if you make it. And RIT, everything's been kept to the outside. Everything has been kept off the backboard. After that game 1, Delaware has said, we need to keep this backboard clean, and they have.
Yeah, and it's these adjustments, right? And that's what's giving Delaware this series lead, as they're threatening, again, to take that first series away from Rochester, and a great extension from Odds, just throwing Sunblaze off of it. And Odds, once again, cutting down the pass. This is just the pressure that has been working so well for Delaware and these Blue Hens. And now we're going to see Yaka with a bit of a boost steal, trying to set up an extended drought, but Stellar gets the clear.
Stellar nearly had another one. Yaka played that one smartly to his own wall. The pass here for Odds is good. Chip up. Odds gets the bump. Is that one in? No, Stellar didn't read the post bounce, and Sunblaze will flick it away. That was surely a goal, but the post says no.
Oh, another instance where Rochester getting lucky. That is on, popped up. Not really dangerous from this angle unless you don't get up on it, and Scooter, again, disrespected and punishes.
So Jakob here pops this one up, but Sebward gets in his way, so Jakob can't follow this ball, which means that Scooter can race in, and Odds picks up an assist too, and I think he was also in that lower third looking to get a bump or a demo potentially on the backside. So this defensive rotation of RIT not only tripping over each other's shoelaces, but also just being harassed constantly. The pressure that the attacker, the initial attacker of Delaware is creating is so much for them to deal with.
Yeah, that's true. It is. It feels like Rochester are getting a little overwhelmed from some of these cuts that they're just not anticipating, right? Like that moment, no one's on the backboard. The team isn't recognizing or just might not have the rotation to be getting on the backboard, which is just a very difficult spot to be in for a squad of this caliber, to have that level of pressure approaching them, as Sebward able to get a good clear from an awkward spot.
Stellar is able to clear that one as well. Jakob wanted the dunk, and that could have started a Tigers push. Stellar leaves this one back. Short side shot. Love the creativity there from Odds, but it's just wide. Ricochets high. Now back down. Does Odds have the read? Nearly had it. If he connected, that was a goal. Scooter to push it back. Won't find a third touch. Stellar with the pinch. Ricochets high. Odds is there. Has the first one, but Sebward will make another save. And Delaware, so much space to work with offensively. They're forced again into really difficult shots, but they're so high quality. Again, if the shot comes through, if the touch is made, it is a goal. It's going in the back of the net. But that's the way they have to play because of RIT and their position.
Yeah. Right there, we saw a great little moment where Scooter just played it to try and keep things dangerous, and now Stellar, again, having 2 members up for that. Jakob alone trying to go for this approach, and if he can't get the ball, get the player and prevent the double, as Scooter is going to be able to ferry this one out of danger. That was, again, another moment where 2 members went for Rochester, and Jakob was just a little alone. It feels like there's a Rochester team that just isn't sticking together, but still, this is only a 1-goal deficit. There's still 2 minutes to go. Sunblaze has a carry, and it's shut down by Stellar.
The hardest part right now for RIT, outside of working this ball out of the kind of sides of the stage, as they have a chance here off the centering ball in front. Scooter will make the goal line save. But 50ing for your teammate is a massive factor, and Delaware do it so well. Better than almost anyone in the EGF. But if you look at RIT, like you said, it feels like individually every single player on this team is talented, but they cannot find ways to set each other up. It's been a lot of individual efforts that have resulted in their goals. but it's also led to a lot of mistakes on the backside defensively.
And you have to wonder if their dominance this season and the fact that they look like and really have been the strongest team in this league. Oh, Odds gets a really rough touch. This is a chance at all. That's just open for Jakob. That's a bit of a giveaway, but you'll take it nonetheless. But I was going to say that in moments where this Rochester team can't just rely on mechanics, where they have to become a team, we're seeing if that depth is really there, because most teams in this league, they can just outplay mechanically.
And RIT are one of those teams. I mean, again, they've made CRL. This is a mechanically talented squad, one of the best in the league at it. But you see, in those instances, this is where Delaware has found their advantage, in those passing lanes, in those passing plays. RIT are a really smart team, but can they connect on a couple of these passing plays? Oh, Stellar with the juke! No. That was nasty! Breaking axles!
Yeah, the axles are broken, but right here, if you're Jakob, I see that that's a really tough angle. So, I don't know, because Jakob's turned around, but I feel like there's got to be some way to just make a more active touch on the ball and not just try to backflip it. Now Jakob does have a full tank of boost early on, flips it up for himself, doesn't get the reset, and once again, Odds with the bump. Slowing things down. Jakob not able to get the touch he wants. And this again resets Rochester, and now they're just decently awkward spot. Sebward with a decent boom, but Scooter's just going to send this to the side unless it goes off the crossbar. Now there's going to be the continuation of this play. Only a few seconds to go, and Rochester needs to make them count, or else they're going to lose their undefeated streak.
Scooter's up for this one. He punches it down in. Powerful play, but it's blocked. Sunblaze is denied. This ball's got to go coast to coast now, and they don't have the boost. Odds gets a touch here. RIT send it in, but they can let this one fall to the ground. Oh no, it kicked off of Stellar's side. Sunblaze still has a chance. He's blocked by Stellar, and the Blue Hens shut down the undefeated RIT.
Oh man. And Rochester last series of the split fall, and not even in game 5. This was only 4. Delaware, they lose game 1, and they're just like, all right, guys, let's make those adjustments and let's take this one home.
I gotta say, what a series from Stellar, stepping up on the biggest of stages here. So many key touches. And he kept switching between some esports decals. The last one, the Kansas City Pioneers, who are known for big upsets under the spotlight. And he shows up yet again with that one in this instance.
Yeah, just a huge upset for the Blue Hens, and really, again, making a statement before the winter break that they are a team to fear in the EGF. They've taken a couple losses, but only against top teams, and now they've taken down one of those top teams. Absolutely huge for them and for Rochester. I think this is going to be a good one to look at the VODs, as we're going to try and set up an interview with the victorious Hens, and we'll be right back in a bit. Welcome back, as we just saw Rochester finally get taken down by the Blue Hens, and now we're joined by Odds from University of Delaware, taking down the undefeated champs. How are you feeling from the facility?
We're feeling great. There was a lot of energy during the series, and it was a very fun win.
It was an intense battle for you guys, a lot of close games, and after dropping the opening game, I believe you guys come up clutch. What was the key factor for you guys after losing your first game to win the next 3?
Yeah, so one thing we've been working on is improving our comms, and honestly, we were just like trying to get settled, and we haven't played together for like a week or two. So we're just trying to get back into the rhythm, and things just kind of locked in from there.
This is a big game for the EGFC specifically because these are two schools that have been here really since day one. And for this type of rivalry, what does this win mean for you guys in an intense battle for the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, it means a lot. I know our RIT is an amazing team, and we actually lost to them in a tournament not that long ago. So it was nice to get a revenge match there, but it's also important that we got that win so we could head higher to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, now as we're heading towards the winter break, is there anything specifically that you guys are looking to work on or prep going into the spring? Or is it just going to be a matter of let's make sure our comms are good from the start and just take on whoever we run into?
Yeah, I think we want to improve on our teamwork a bit more. We had a really nice team play in that series, and that's something we've been trying to do more. We've been getting pretty good at it, so we've just been trying to fix our comms and stuff like that, just so we can get more into the flow of the game.
You love to hear it. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Odds. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out or thank while you're in the booth with us?
Yeah, shout out to my awesome teammates, Stellar and Scooter, to my family at home, and our coach Wolfrider, as well as Galaxy, the goat from Xavier University. That's
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Great having you on. And thanks for you guys putting on a show and making this league just so much fun to watch.
Yep. Thank you.
And for all y'all at home, we still got one more game to go. It's going to be USC up against NAU, a bit of a battle on the West Coast, Southern California against Northern Arizona, as we'll be back with that one in just a bit. Welcome back, and this is our final match of the day, USC up against NAU.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. The best of the West about to go head to head here. NAU, we haven't gotten to see them a lot this year, but they've been tearing it up. 6-1 entering this contest, and that one loss was to RIT, who we just saw play moments ago. Whereas USC, although there's been a little bit of a rebuild in terms of the roster from last year to this year, they've shown a very high ceiling against a lot of top tier teams.
Yeah, they absolutely have. They've shown that they can step up when necessary, and we'll just have to see if that main roster is all together as we're going to get to take a peek. We're going to see again that we're at the end of the day. We've had a whole slate of bangers if you missed them. UConn and UTK, that one went to 5. And Auburn versus Cincinnati, a close affair, but Cincinnati really feeling in control. And the big highlight, the big upset being Delaware taking that dub over Rochester. And now I'm just hoping we get another amazing matchup. And this NAU team, as you said, they're hot. I saw them a bunch last season in Season 4 when they were the new kids on the block, and they were just going from the second they entered this league.
I mean, NAU was the type of team that was just mechanical. They just churned out offensive shot opportunities like a factory. They just continued to tally up points after points after points. They were one of the best offenses in the league. If it weren't for Adverse being the leading scorer, NAU would have been the number one offense. And USC, while they were finished last year just below 500, they still were a playoff team. They still were able to make a playoff push late in the season in the conference and in the pool play to make some of these deep runs happen. So we know this team has a high ceiling, but the question is, can they bring it together week by week?
Yeah, and this is going to be the question. As for USC, we see VTR, Fajpaj, and Paprika. No Wiss or Vista. So VTR really going to have to lead the way forward. And for NAU, Galaxy, Chronicle, and Beast. Galaxy, one of the big names from last season.
Yeah, Galaxy was one of the big stars that's been around for a while on this team. Was, I believe, second or third on the team in scoring. But the player that NAU, when we talked to them last year, that they were really hyped about was Chronicle. He stepped into the ring numerous times, even for some key matchups, and got some big victories. He's one of the younger players on this roster, so he'll be around for a while. And he already slotted himself in with that offense and just continued. That team was a lot of upperclassmen, and even though there's a couple new names on this list, Chronicle was able to slot right in, and that offense never lost a step.
No, and I'm super excited to see Chronicle. I haven't had a chance to watch this squad on the pitch this season quite yet, and now we're finally getting there. And with NAU being so excited for this new player, and again, as you've said, they've just slotted right in, and I'm expecting to see some great high-flying plays. And for USC, we'll see if their newer players are able to step up to this challenge, or if NAU are just going to continue that string of dominance and match RIT at the top at 7-1.
We saw last week, I believe it was, Fajpaj enter in for, I believe it was either Vista or Wisp, but Fajpaj in general has pretty good positioning overall, and I'm curious to see how Paprika slots into this lineup because, yes, VTR, there's a lot of emphasis on him, but this was also the case for VTR last season with a lot of lineup changes, with Rebel kind of being in and out of the lineup, with Vista being kind of a question mark. VTR was the consistent name. I think actually last week was the first time we didn't get to see VTR, and yet Fajpaj was positionally very good at being in the right spot and being in a position to either make a save or get a challenge. But the biggest challenge is going to be if they can consistently get some offense and try and keep up with the track meet style that NAU like to play.
Yeah, as we're already seeing Galaxy going high, and we're going to see... Actually, that was VTR, so... VTR and Pap, oh my goodness, I'm getting thrown off by the slight letter changes, but NAU not thrown off, as that's going to be Beast sent away and Galaxy cleaning up.
Yeah, Galaxy here gets the goal, but Beast on the cut, and Beast was one of these players that we didn't really see last season either, so unless this is a tag change, is a newer face to the NAU roster, but with a record like 6-1, they're working, and they're working really well. That was a good opportunity that they created, and although they don't get the goal at the back of it, they will get an assist as Pap using the backside of their car to flick it over to Fajpaj here. We'll see if USC can march the other way. Getting through the midfield is the first real step for them. NAU were so good kind of lying the midfield trap down that anytime you tried to launch the ball over their backside, there was usually a player already on the boards ready for it.
Yeah, and right now, I want to see as well for USC, considering you've got a newer lineup, making sure that Pap and Fajpaj are confident, right? And we're seeing Pap get involved in the offense, trying to make some of these touches. And that's exactly what you need to see from someone where it is their first game of the season, where they are confident to go for some of these options. And now after that opening goal, it's felt pretty even between these two teams, contesting in the midfield, making sure that they're racing for all of these types of possessions. Well, VTR doesn't quite get the touch he's looking for. Instead, it gets sent over to Beast. Now, a little cut from Pap, because that's the confidence, again, that you need to see as a nice pass up, extended forward, but not quite extended far enough, as Chronicle's going to slow this one down. And we're going to just see a few more pops in the midfield as a great save from Paprika.
Good save there. Fajpaj unable to clear that ball out, though. USC trying to launch this one over. They do get it past Galaxy's backside. Beast will knock that ball forward for Galaxy and Chronicle. Kick to the wall once more over the head of Chronicle. And USC, you were talking about that comfort level. One thing that's been pretty consistent with them, despite lineup changes, is the theming, the play style, the philosophy of being really flexible and being able to adapt. And thus far, like you said, with 3 minutes remaining, feels like they've been pretty good, but that one, they get a little bit too bunched up, and a 50 will allow Chronicle to put in goal number 2.
Yeah, and you can see both Pap and Fajpaj on the same line. No one's at back post. While it's still in your, defensive third, you want to keep someone back. But unfortunately, just that one hole taken advantage of by NAU as they go up 2-0.
One of the struggles for NAU in previous iterations has been the defensive side, when their defense gets challenged, kind of like what we saw with RIT, their defense does have some holes that you can poke through and find gaps, but they just spend so much time on offense. So there's a big key or big focus for USC in terms of time of possession here. And the time of possession is starting to really tip in NAU's favor, especially with the air dribble. But Fajpaj knocks it across. Chronicle able to keep it in the red half here. But if USC can keep the ball close to the hood of their cars, it's a good sign.
Yeah, I think so. The fact is, it's about feeling this team out, making sure that you're not giving away too many, as again, just bunched up and Galaxy takes advantage. I want to see this play sort of come together as Fajpaj does go for one. VTR has to pre-jump, and then Pap just all alone. Really tough to try and make that approach after everyone's just not quite close enough. And this is just that NAU dominance that we've seen so far this season.
NAU continuing to put their foot down here. 3-0 lead, 2 minutes remaining. Beast unable to clear though. Fajpaj tries to center that ball, and Galaxy's immediately headed the other way with it. Tries to get this ball over, but VTR will clear it. Fajpaj is there. Good redirect. Can he get back to it? No. Beast able to race over to that backboard and make a good stop.
And that's another great start, as we're going to see Pap continue this carry forward, and they're making sure that NAU has to work for these possessions. They're not just letting the Lumberjacks walk all over them. They're continuing to step up, as that's going to be a good save away from VTR, but it's still dangerous. Pap pops this one out, but there's no Trojan on the other side. Instead, it's VTR now having to wait up a moment before sending this one off to Fajpaj, and that's the first sort of east to west connection we've seen that this USC team is so known for. So good to see those plays are still in the playbook.
Fajpaj again being in the right place there, recognizing the passing lane and going for the shot. Just can't quite put it on target as Pat backflipped, and he nearly cost them another goal there, but he will be able to recover and get the block. Chronicle now up for this one, but called off by Beast, who finds a double tap. Is there this time to deny that opportunity. VTR now races in, can't get the touch. Galaxy's too fast. Fajpaj doesn't find the backboard read. Chronicle thought they had one, but the follow-up from Beast will go in, and it's 4-0 NAU.
And this is just Beast seeing that there's finally an opening. USC caught a little flat-footed after all of the pressure. No one able to get in front of the ball. For USC, though, I think there's still some definite opportunities and some adjustments they can make to make this a more competitive series, as it starts with, again, staying in front of the ball and also just trying to focus on making sure you're hitting your teammates and not just sending it straight into no man's land, because NAU, they're going to punish you every single time that they're just handed the ball.
Yeah, and VTR will try and find something here. Pap is in the right spot, but there's just so many defenders in his way. Hard to try and find a pocket there, as maybe they find something here. Chronicle looked towards the far post but could not cut the angle. VTR will be able to get a block in front, but the ball will touch the ground, and game one will go to the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, very, very well done. Clean and controlled. When they had an opportunity, had a good shot on net, they almost always took it. There were a couple that went wide, but still 4 up already for NAU. And again, for USC, I think it's just going to be about seeing if they can get some of those east to west passes, see if they can extend the field here and there. But of course, it always runs the risk of giving NAU a faster game to play.
Yeah, and NAU love the fast-paced games. They love just being, in that ping-pong-esque style, because you can tell. I mean, you looked at the stats towards the end. Beast, by the time he scores that fourth goal, he's already got 6 shots on target already. So USC, their defense has to be on point, and that's what NAU do better than I think anyone else is. They are so rampant in their pace. They just churn shot after shot after shot on goal on you. And if you don't have a player constantly back, if you don't have the boost to be able to make a save, the ball will eventually go into the back of the net. So USC, they're going to need some of those big counterattack type plays, which is why that goal or that attempt from VTR to Fajpaj looked so good. They found a pocket. They found a window where they can get that big launching shot. If they're able to turn a couple more of those on target, they've got a series on their hands.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is really just a matter of whether or not USC can try to just look for those counterattacks. I think that if you know that you're going to be pressured on defense a little bit more, giving yourself those outlet options is definitely the way to go. As Fajpaj is going to deposit this one for VTR, and that's going to be an opener for the Trojans.
That's what we were looking for here. Look at Fajpaj set this up. He thinks he's going for a redirect towards target. That draws the defender in, but instead uses his backside to kill the ball center field, and that allows VTR to race over and launch that ball on net. No one back for NAU, which means USC get the counterattack goal we were looking for.
Yeah, and it was all off of just a very subtle touch coming through from Fajpaj to just kill it in the midfield. NAU not ready for it. That's exactly how you have to start, but Chronicles got the reset, but it's still just off the post. VTR staying in front of this one, but it's muscled on in by Galaxies.
Galaxy here, flexing a bit. Great effort by Chronicle at that near post, but then VTR gets caught completely off guard by it, sitting at the near post, flips the best way he can to try and cover space, but the challenge comes through late, and thus Galaxies can power through and tie this game up at 1. VTR shot on target there, but saved away. Fajpaj tries to bump that one down off the corner. Won't be able to turn back on it though. VTR to kick this one to the wall. Fajpaj off the ceiling, cut off by Beast, and Galaxy is there. Pap maybe able to find something. Force Galaxy low. VTR will get a challenge. Chronicle uninterrupted though will be able to clear this ball away. And the NAU defense making sure they've got a player back so they don't get counterattacked again.
Yeah, and I think already forcing NAU to not be able to just have all their players in the attack, a great step for USC in this series. We're already seeing just more and more opportunities really coming their way. That's going to be a save away from Beast. Try and do a little bit more, but this one's actually straight back at the net. Pap does get the save away from his own teammate's accidental clear, and this is going to be another extension forward. Beast going to try and collect this. Instead, it's Chronicle to get past 2 immediately. And VTR stuck in the 1v1 until the demo comes through. Galaxy looking for a shot, and it's going to pop high. Fajpaj is there, gets the second touch as well. Chronicle makes the attack at least stick together for a moment.
In a bad spot here. What a key touch from him. Beast was going to have that double tap off the backside if he didn't find that play. Oh, look at the pass in front. Love the idea to pass that ball, but it means Galaxies gets to turn and make the block on that one. Now maybe a chance the other way. Chronicle so quick to airdrop it. Look at the speed. 2-1 Lumberjacks.
Oh, very, very well done. Chronicle just turns on the gas, and there's nothing that USC and Fajpaj can do on the backside. But still going back to the midfield when Fajpaj went for that pass, I feel like it might have been a great opportunity to just go for a pinch shot, but just real awkward. So just put together whatever kind of connection you could find. Now Fajpaj staying on this, just trying to deny the pop-up instead. Just loses a lot of boost. Now it's a 1v1 turned into 2v1 as VTR pushes his way forward. Beast setting up the pass, and it's saved to the side. And this one dangerous for a moment, but VTR can't do much with it. And now Fajpaj sends it back to the backboard. There's another attempt. Galaxies clears it over. And instead, and now there's not many members, no one left in the net, and Pap, unfortunately not able to find an angle.
Oh, he gets half of the play here. He gets the demo on the shooter, but unfortunately his momentum takes him right into the ball. And that does the work for NAU. 3-1 there. Good defensive play by Pap, but that's all started off of USC just getting a little too antsy on offense. There was really a double commit towards the shot off the backside, and thus there's no one back for that play. So even though it's not a clean, easy shot for Galaxy, it's still a chance down in front, and had it not been for that demo, would have been a cleaner goal. But look at this! The pass in front! Fajpaj finds VTR, and USC are not done yet.
Oh, not by any stretch, as VTR just cuts off Beast on the side. This is suddenly getting interesting. We're back within 1, and USC showing they can make these connections happen. It's the counterattack that's key. 2 have worked out so far.
I'd love to see Paprika get involved more offensively. A lot of it has been VTR and Fajpaj, but Paprika's just been pushed this backline so frequently, and this is why such control. Beast here is going to get the goal, but it's off of the carry from Galaxy.
Yeah, this is all Galaxy. Galaxy just gets past one, shoves past the other, and gets that insurance scoreline back for NAU.
4-2 now the scoreline with 1:33 remaining here in game number 2. Paprika moving forward here. Maybe a chance here. That's a giveaway down in front, and VTR will strike a hat trick for VTR, and once again USC are back in it.
And Pab just stays right behind the ball, makes sure to take advantage of Galaxy's weak touch, and a great center straight for VTR. Again, we're back within 1, and USC getting their third man involved in offense. It is great to see that they really can provide more threats. This is going to touch the backboard, and no one from NAU is quite yet there to respond. Now VTR low on boost, but still trying to make something happen, at least off the pop. Pap goes for the shot, and now Fajpaj denied by Galaxies off the save. There's another good demo. That physicality could be an extra way to get Pap involved as well.
Could be a key late in this game. A minute remaining now. Fajpaj can't get by Beast though. VTR off the wall. Chronicle is there, looking for Galaxy, but the pass is a little bit too far for him. He will still get the pinch. VTR now sends it up. Fajpaj gets a block on one, can't get back to it cleanly. Pass in front, and what a laser beam from Chronicle, labeled right for the upper 90.
Oh, and that feels like it steals 82 miles an hour. Oh my word. I mean, if it was any slower, I think VTR could have gotten to it, but oh my gosh, just using the maximum momentum. Those are the screamers that you really just never see saved. As 30 seconds to go, feels like this is all really controlled for NAU, but USC, they've already shown that they can score. They've shown that they can find some opportunities. That pop from Pap's not going to go to anyone. And Beast just going to try and run down the clock, as that might just be an unfortunate bounce into another goal.
Yeah, real unfortunate bounce here to extend the lead to 3 as Fajpaj tries to turn, and that ricochet, that is a wild one that Pap just... How do you even respond to a play like that? But that's the danger. Again, Fajpaj, if you're going to play it up the wall, that thing's got to roll up. That cannot kick back out like that. And that one ends up going into the back of the net. So a mistake late extends the lead at NAU. They might find another one. Pat makes another block along the goal line. But either way, it's going to be the Lumberjacks on to match point.
Yeah, and this is that 6-1 score. I'm really looking to see again. They really stepped up that game, right? We saw just a real improvement in their passing, in their confidence, and I think that bodes well for them in the rest of this series. Of course, NAU have that control, and they've been very, very strong, but I think that there's a real chance for the Trojans to at the very least steal away a game, especially with Pap getting more involved.
Yeah, I like what, Pap has been able to do this series. He's been forced to the back third a lot, but you can tell that what's really burning USC is the fact that there's only a few windows for them to really go offensively. There's been only a small handful of mistakes. Positionally, USC are in the right spot. In terms of boost, they typically have the boost. But NAU are just a little bit faster to the reads and a little bit more controlled offensively. That's why you can see some of these passes. I mean, Chronicle shot, you don't make that play without complete control and a brilliant pass from Beast all the way across. So there's a little bit too much space for NAU to work with, and it's really hard for USC to match that pace. I mean, USC, you look at NAU, their whole thing last year was being the fastest team in the league. So it's really hard to try and cut down on the time given to them, but you have to come up with something to at least make sure that those passing lanes aren't as easily available.
Yeah, now we can see Galaxy is swapped to being the fastest car in a couple different franchises. Of course, F1 with Max Verstappen and Lightning McQueen from the Cars cinematic universe, as that's going to be a pop over, and Galaxy Verstappen makes it in, but Pap gets the score, as that's another opener for USC.
Huge 50 here. VTR cuts this back, and it's a good save there, but the ricochet goes right to Pap, and the recognition there for Pap to cut in. He should be the third man back. He should be rotating back towards his own back boost, but he sees that ball cut across and instantly reacts.
Oh, and just such a good job. And now this is exactly how you want to start if you're NAU. Pap already getting a good challenge, looking to step up, send this one over to Faj. There's an opportunity to cut it past, and now a pop-up straight for VTR. Pap's going to get out of the play and leave this to the other strikers as Galaxy Verstappen is going to step to the side. Straight up for Chronicle, looks for the double and dunks it down.
Oh, Chronicle, a huge double tap, and again in the feed from Beast is everything. The pop-up, Faj is there, but so difficult to react to. So much pace on that setup off the backboard, and Chronicle just does not miss. And all of a sudden, a minute into the action, we're tied at 1 apiece.
That we are. 30 seconds for each squad to get their first score. Now, Faj gonna get this actually past 2, and now it's all alone. It's all left to the king, and he holds on and slows things down, as that's gonna be a push forward from Pap. It's right off the post. Now Faj gonna get demoed away. This is gonna be all up to Pap, but it seems it's gonna be all for the king. Verstappen, Lightning McQueen, they're all winners, they're all titleists, and continuing NAU on their march forward.
The bump onto Faj was everything there. Just nothing he can do about it once he gets clipped. And that's an easy catch, scoop, and score for NAU. They take the lead 2-1 with 3:35 remaining here, and they're looking for more. VTR forces him off that ball, but it hits the backboard and will drop down to him. 3-1 now for the Lumberjacks.
Oh man, and this just hurts a little bit for Faj, where you hit the post where you're trying to get back on it, and even though that one bounces down, there's just no way to get past it, as we are suddenly back up to NAU having a comfortable 2-goal lead.
The kickoff goes back to Beast here. 2-on-2 the other way. Good shot, better save. VTR getting the block on that one. USC trying to find a way out of their own defensive zone. Again, NAU kind of lurking around the midfield boost, knowing where these lines are potentially. And even in the midfield, VTR nowhere to really dribble to. These 50s go right up the wall, and it allows for air dribble passing plays like this. What a beauty. Beast will tap in his first goal of the game. 4-1 NAU.
Yeah, I just want to watch this one back. Pass down. Yeah, both players dived. Neither had a great angle. And that's 4 up already. NAU showing why they're one of the top scorers in the league and have been for their run in the EGFC.
Looking mighty fine right now. Maybe a chance here for one more, and they will. Look at the pace. Chronicle's gonna get a brace here, but the speed of this shot is everything. Faj is right on it, and he's got no time to react.
I mean, it was just so fast, and it's in those moments you're dealing with, 0.1, 0.2 seconds to go, and it's just such a difficult reaction to try and make, even though you're right there on the ball. No one to saves in chat. That was just, again, a great little shake and bake coming through from the side of NAU, getting their teammates involved. VTR are going to clear this away.
NAU, they're looking for more here, and they'll find it. Look at this. That's going to be a hat trick for Max Verstappen as VTR plays this one to the wall, but the danger of playing it off the wall means that both teams really have a shot at it, and NAU's the faster one. They're able to get inside the box and level that one into the far side to make it 6-1. And this is what NAU did to a lot of teams last year. Although the lineup is very different, the tags have changed. The offensive philosophy has not. They continue to pile it on.
Yes, I mean, Max Verstappen stepping down from F1, stepping into NAU's Rocket League. Now that's a real step up. For any of you non-F1 fans, Red Bull and Verstappen did get their respective championships and of course won this past week in Abu Dhabi. And now it looks like NAU are looking to continue their win and take us on a little flight to Brazil, even though we're not at Interlagos.
Oh my goodness, look at this double tap. Pap's just a second late to it, and VTR sees it too. He's even up towards the backboard, but Chronicle finds the gap and places it perfectly underneath the crossbar. It's just something that, NAU, though they, are touted for being one of the fastest teams in the league, their offense really is a Swiss Army knife at the end of the day. They can beat you mechanically. They can beat you through speed. They can beat you through physicality. They can beat you in so many different ways because they just are so adaptable, flexible, and yet they do it at such a rampant pace. It's one of the major reasons why they were a top 8 team last year.
Yeah, exactly, and that was their first year in the league, and that's back when there were teams like Seton Hall and a lot of the Big East still making their names. So tons of talent in that, and so to be top 8, very, very impressive in your first season, and they're looking to be a bit more than that this season, as of course they've already got the 7 goals, but are continuing to try and extend that in this final minute of play.
And for USC, again, this one's going to go in. That's another goal for Max. Make it 8-1 with a minute remaining. But NAU, I think this was a big one for them. Again, the West, there's not too many teams in that Western Conference, and USC is one of the big challengers, one of these teams that could keep up with the upper echelon. But for them, just in terms of the overall standings, sometimes your path to a championship can really come down to your seeding, and thus getting the victory here, staying at just a 1-loss team, means that they're right back at the top, tied with RIT, thanks to the loss that the Tigers just took to Delaware. And if they can hold on to that higher seed, makes the path to a championship that much easier.
Oh man, and they get up to 9. Really looking to extend that score, make sure they have as many goals in the bank. That huge differential could make a difference now that RIT have taken a loss. If both teams win out, even though, I will say RIT does have the head-to-head, so again, that's a question for next split, though, as right now, just a few more seconds. I think NAU looking for double digits, and USC just trying to hold on, let this game end, as you have to wonder what this game might have looked like if VTR, Wiss, and Vista were on the pitch against this NAU squad. A little bit more aggro, more used to these faster-paced plays and are able to cut off a lot of these kinds of opportunities. As now we might just get one walk the other way, as Verstappen, McQueen will be able to take that one home. Get stopped for a second as this clock will take on down. 1 second left, and we'll get a bit of a Rule 0 and see if either of these teams can get an extra score. NAU wanting that double digits. It's extended for a moment, it's off the backboard, and it's in for 10 for NAU.
6 goals for Max Verstappen, 10-1 the final, and NAU get the brooms out in our final game of the night, and that's the way that NAU would like to have it. What a massive victory for them. They're now up to 7-1 on the season.
Yes, they have been doing fantastically, and this was just another demonstration of their dominance, continuing to show that they are really coming for the trophy this year, and it's not the Piston Cup or the F1 title. It's going to be that EGF trophy.
Yeah, and for USC, obviously not the result you want this week. They fall to now 4-4, and with their series score, they're just under even with that. They came in +1 in terms of game differential, so now they're going to be at -2, but that is easily surmountable. We've seen this team have very high highs, so if they can string together some wins, even these players that have subbed in, you can see the moments of brilliance. You can see the moments of execution for them. It's just that matter of consistency, being able to bring it all together on the same week, reading the play a bit faster. USC have the talent. They've just got to bring it all together on the spotlight.
Yeah, they really do, and we'll see if over the break they'll be able to make those adjustments and really step up, as we'll be able to hear from Galaxy Verstappen after a very quick break. welcome back for our final interview of the night. A clean sweep for NAU over the Trojans, as we are going to be joined by Galaxy Max Verstappen McQueen on the side here. How does it feel going 7-1 through the start of this split and actually having a better record than Max did in his F1 season? As he's only 6-2 in his for his opening 8 races.
He can take pole, but he got beat by Leclerc one time. But I'm feeling great. We're feeling great. 7-1. You got to be very happy with that. I'm proud of the team. We worked really hard, and the results just followed behind.
So the big story for you guys this season has been that this offense is so high powered, despite a couple of name changes. No Castillo, no KJ, but you guys still continue to pump out points. How do you feel about how the kind of depth of the lineup in Chronicle and Beast have stepped up?
They have stepped up a lot. They've been really good, and just getting to play with them is just super fun every day. Playing with them is super fun, and just enjoy playing with them. And I just have a fun time playing with them because we work well together. Especially recently, we've been starting to work a lot better, and being able to be that team chemistry came into play for sure in this game.
And for you guys wrap up the split at 7-1 as one of the top teams in the EGFC now. But you go on a long break here before the spring split starts back up in, I believe, late January. So what are your plans for the holiday season?
Grind and get better. That's our goal. Our expectation is to make CRL, so that's what we're gonna try and do.
And the squad CRL bound. Excited to hear that. And now looking ahead, you've lost to RIT, but you beat Delaware, who took them down. Is there anyone else in the league besides those squads that you're looking at for maybe being your title contender?
UTA would probably be the other one. That would be the only one. UTA, and I haven't been keeping up with the other teams, but I know there's a few other Titans out there. But yeah, we're just looking forward to every game, because every game we have fun and try and practice on what we need to do.
That's awesome to hear. All right, Galaxy, thank you so much for joining us. While you're here in the booth with us, is there anyone that you would like to thank or shout out? The floor is yours.
Of course. Shout out to NAU Esports on all socials. And actually, yesterday, it was actually posted today. I was in a podcast. So if you guys want to check that out, it was a podcast about Rocket League and talking about the future for Rocket League for NAU. And shout out to my teammates, and shout out to you guys as casters, and shout out to the families and friends who are watching.
Thank you so much for joining us, and always a pleasure to see you and your Snorlax popping up in the interview, Galaxy.
Yeah, that's right. He's chilling.
Absolutely chilling. Have a good one. And for everyone, that's it. That's all we got for tonight. And Soy, it has been an absolute blast going through all of these awesome matchups.
It really has been. This has been quite the split, and it's always fun to finish off with one of these West Coast battles too. Just there's such parity in the league, and even the top teams. There's always that one chink in the armor now, as no undefeated teams remain after RIT's loss, and NAU, they look to try and take the crown, but it will all be played out in the next split way off in January, and I can't wait to see it.
Me neither, as that's going to be it for a little while. If you want to see more EGFC before the holiday break, of course, there's Overwatch and Valorant for and Friday, respectively. And then the league will be going on a hiatus until, again, that later January. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Shout out to AppCon, who's been holding it down behind the scenes. And to everyone watching at home, have a wonderful night.